What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I am one of your hosts, Greg Miller.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, how you doing, Nick?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. Do you ever think about dipping the foam part of your mic into your coffee?
No, God, that sounds awful.
It
You know how
sounded
much
like
this-
you melted into Masters of Terrakasi.
What is
When you
that?
just said that.
Master Terrascasi, dude, is a
What is
fucking
that?
PS1 era
Classic
Star Wars fighting game. Come
Oh
on.
my, I'm so sorry.
Come on.
I didn't know. Did they have the Metachlorians
I host
there?
a PlayStation.
Did they have
podcast.
Watto there?
Now you know how I
don't
feel
care.
70% of the time.
Did they fight with lightsabers?
Some of them did.
Well, that
Some
seems
of
like
them
an
did it.
unfair fight right there.
Boba
Yeah.
Fett was in it.
Did he just die like a bitch in every match? Little anus always popped up on the ground and he fell in it.
Yeah.
Whoa! Help me!
You know, I gotta-
miss my daddy. Who is
I-
my clothes?
I gotta be honest with you, is that I was watching Jedi recently, and he really does go out like a bitch. Like I gotta just admit that Boba Fett really does. But it's because he's so used to not being challenged that he wasn't even ready for anything that was happening on the skiff.
Everything had atrophied. He wasn't ready. He was,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like he's on the Super Star Destroyer Executor with a big dick with Darth Vader and the other 5 bounty hunters. No one's
Chilling.
saying anything to him. He goes to Bespin, the
Chilling.
Cloud City. Darth Vader is getting shot at by Han Solo. He puts his hand up and stops the bullets, and Boba Fett just walks out from the side, like not afraid of anything. And then he goes to Jabba's palace to fucking collect, and he's just there to party
Yeah.
and fuck.
Yeah.
And
Look,
and then all this shit goes down.
maybe
with-
he's hungover. He's probably got a
so I think
wicked
that, like,
hangover.
So I think that like he's like, because you can see him on the skip. He's like, what the hell is going on? Like I haven't had to fight anyone in years.
Oh,
You
no.
know?
He's on massive amounts of cocaine.
Space
on that fucking,
cocaine.
On Jabba's like amazing yacht, that fucking sand yacht that he
Yeah.
had. He was blowing lines before shit went down. He was just like, I don't.
Him in that fucking
what's
CG
happening?
singing thing with the big ass nose.
Yeah. Dude, they were getting
no,
down.
what was the
That's Sly Snoodles.
what's the
Or
most?
is that Sly,
Shout out
is
to
that-
Sly Snoodles.
or Sly Snoodles, something like that? Isn't
I
that
like
the
Sly
character?
Snoodles.
I'm gonna look that up.
This is the Pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
Hello.
That's the pure one, Tim Gettys.
That's the most.
Now, what was the Muppet though? There was a Muppet right on Jabba's palace.
Yeah, that was like, well, that's what I thought he was talking about with the lips.
Salacious Crumb. That's right. He that guy was getting mouth fucked by Boba Fett for sure.
Oh, Salacious Crumb was
Boba
everyone's
Fett,
bitch.
he was hungover, he was
Yeah.
on drugs, and he was deprived of all his fluids. That
Yeah.
Salacious Crumb had sucked
he had
out of
been
him.
sucked dry.
Did he have a weird nose?
How the fuck did I know that? Sly Snoodles. How do I remember that?
Because you're 6
You're a huge fucking dork.
Hold on,
I'm
are
saying.
you talking about I'm talking about the CG abomination they added.
The singing thing.
The singing thing.
That looked like Zork.
Yeah, the kissy
kinda.
kissy thing,
Like
right?
Nicki Minaj, kind of.
Hold on a second. I'm looking.
A little bit.
I'm looking.
Okay.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia.
The Wikipedia?
Yeah, Sly Snoodles.
Wikipedia.
It's
Lord.
God, how do I remember that? Sly Snoodles was a female Powwick singer and lead
Yeah, that's
vocalist
her, yeah.
for the Max Rebo band. She was also the former lover of Zero the Hutt and was his killer. She was also a spy for Grand Hutt Council's leader, Jabba. It says her gender is female, her height is 1.65 meters,
I don't know
and
if I
her skin
can't do
color
that.
is yellow, in parentheses, with blue spots.
Good.
Thank you, Wikipedia. Do you ever see the old, I think it was, I don't remember what website it would do, where it was like, I think we talked about this in the past, like a long time ago. The Wikipedia article is for something fake and the Wikipedia article is for something real. So it's like the real Wikipedia article for like a scientific term and then the real Wikipedia article for a fake scientific term from sci-fi. And that one's way more fleshed out and twice as long. It's the fucking best. I love that. It's such a funny idea. Nerds.
Yep.
But
If
I
you
knew
didn't
who Sly
know,
Snoodles was.
this is the Game Over Greggy show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bringing a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny where you get the shows early along with a bunch of exclusive goodies. A lot of people like all the exclusives we've been putting up lately. I'm proud of that. I'm glad they're enjoying the exclusive content, Nick.
Good.
If you have no money to toss, don't worry about it. Head to youtube.com/kindafunny where we post the entire show topic by topic, day by day, until the entire thing posts the following Friday as one big MP3 and video. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Not good.
What was the story that
Not good
Lucas
at all.
said about Boba Fett? Like he was supposed to be the main villain of when it before.
Lucas
before-
didn't say that. Other people were saying that.
Yeah. What was that?
Some
It
other
was-
old guy.
It came out like a month or two ago. They were talking about
was it
how Fett was supposed to be like the main villain and then got downgraded or something like that when they decided
yeah,
to make a
I saw
trilogy,
something about that circulating, but I did not read it. It could have been from what's his name, the screenwriter.
where they were going to make 2 trilogies. Oh, that's right. And Boba Fett was supposed to be the main bad guy of the first one, and then when he decided to not make the next 3, I guess they were like, you got to go out like a bitch. So go blow lines in the back for a while.
It's
and then
weird.
come back.
It's weird that they killed him at all. It would have been the mystique would have been way better. It would have been cooler if he fell into the Sarlacc pit and then jetpacked out or something like that.
Isn't that what they did in the EU?
In the books, he gets out. I think he causes some sort of explosion or something. It's in Tales from the Bounty Hunters, I think. Because there was great short story books called Tales of the Bounty Hunters, Tales of the Empire, Tales from Jabba's Palace, Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina. It was like all the stories of all these random
Watto's Grotto Tales.
Watto's Grotto's Tales.
Tales from Sebulba's house.
Tales from Sebulba's house, which was written but not actually published.
Right. Would have been too good. Would have put everything paled in comparison to that.
Now, if you're done talking about your fucking dumb clones and shit, I asked how everybody's doing. Everybody said good, and then Tim said bad.
I'm not good.
What's wrong?
I'm sick. Think I'm dying.
Oh.
Earlier we were talking about what topics we're doing. I was like, I want to talk about sickness and sick stories.
Yeah.
And you're like, have we done that before? I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I did some research on it. We have, but none of us were part of the damn show because we were all sick.
Oh, this is when I was like last man standing.
Maybe it
We
would
were
be.
gone.
Maybe it would be. This sweet space jacket that you're wearing.
I was going to say, he does look like he's from the future, right? This does look like a Back to the Future
you're a
2
helium
look.
3, you're a helium-3 trader.
Full disclosure for this jacket.
Yeah.
I bought it.
Back from fucking a gas giant.
I bought it for Kind of Funny Live. It was going to be my entrance jacket, and I was going to get the smiley embroidered on it.
Oh.
Ran out of time to get it embroidered because we were working on a whole bunch of other bullshit like Pikachu costumes and whatnot. Then I found the sparkly light up one. I'm like, well, fuck this piece of shit.
Yeah.
So it's a cheap jacket. I don't really like it, but I was like, I have it now. And then I haven't done laundry for a while because Gia has been here.
Gia.
So I'm like, you know what? I didn't want to debut my E3 outfits because it ain't E3 yet.
Sure.
Damn well know I got some E3 outfits to fucking debut on y'all bitch ass.
So let me tell you.
I wore this instead.
So you were born in the asteroid belt.
See, the thing
in the year 2352.
Yep.
And you and your family traveled to Saturn, specifically to Iapidus. Enceladus, we're going to say. You lived on Enceladus, the moon.
Yeah.
And
Dated
you became
Xenon for a while.
Yep.
It's my girl.
Yep. And then you became a helium-3 trader, and you were often shuttling between the moons of Saturn and Earth to let off the payload of helium-3.
Damn right.
And other payloads as well.
Yeah.
Now, can I name him?
Yeah.
I'm going to just pull a random name. Never heard this before. Let's call him Mace Windu.
Okay. I feel like I can rock it.
The gas giant trader.
The thing about it is that you guys kind of look like a tag team because you're in the same color palette for sure today. Like you're very much like your color coordinator. You ready to start some shit.
feeling it.
Any second, knock us out. Let's
Really
cut a
feeling
promo.
By the way, so you voted?
I did vote. Feel the burn.
We all voted. Did we all vote today?
I have not voted.
yet.
That's why I want to leave a little.
You're going to go vote?
You're
Kevin,
not-
you voted?
not
You're gonna
make
vote?
the
Kevin, you're going to vote for
Pulse
Donald
up
Trump,
like
I assume? You're going to vote for Hillary Clinton. And you're going to vote for Bernie Sanders. Greg, you
Feel the
voted for
burn.
Bernie
I
Sanders.
voted for. I felt the burn.
Nick, you'll vote for Hillary Clinton, I assume?
No, I'll probably vote for Kasich as well.
John Kasich. I voted for John Kasich as a protest vote.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter.
Thank you, Kevin.
I'm registered as an independent, so my vote doesn't fucking matter at all. So it doesn't matter.
Now let me just say this real quick.
It doesn't.
Interesting, and it has nothing to do with anything we're going to talk about today, but interesting story run by Political Magazine last week talks about Zachary Taylor in the 1840s.
Zachary Taylor Thomas?
Just Zachary Taylor, the general.
Oh man.
And how he ran as a Whig and he won, and he was like this know-nothing, like never wasn't political, changed his mind constantly, still won.
a flip flopper, as we call him.
Still won, destroyed the Whig Party, and then the Republicans obviously came out of the ashes of that. A lot of interesting parallels there. Very interesting story about Zachary Taylor in Political Magazine. People should go read it and check it out.
So you're drawing a parallel between him and obviously Hillary Clinton.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because I was telling Kevin at lunch, the Republican Party first ran a presidential candidate in 1856, John Fremont, the Pathfinder, lost to Franklin Pierce of New Hampshire, the only New Hampshire
What was his
born.
nickname?
Franklin Pierce?
Yeah.
The man from he was considered what the fuck was it? A northerner with southern sensibilities. What the fuck is that term? It's like something with dough.
John Doe.
Pillsbury
Judy's dough.
Boy.
Pizza bread. Doe.
Judy's fine dough.
Anyway, it was something people say in the comments. Anyway, in 1856, Franklin Pierce beat him, but then in 1860, Abraham Lincoln won, second Republican ever to run and won, and then it caused the Civil War, of course. But
Shout out to Abraham.
and shout out to the Civil War. But what I'm saying is that the party can collapse very quickly because of Trump and then rise back up. But there's a lot of parallels between Zachary Taylor, I think 1848. No, 1846.
This makes so much sense because I've always heard these
1848,
Southern people say we will rise again, and they're talking about the Republican Party.
No, the Democrats were actually the Southerners, and the racists and the slaveholders. Just a little piece of history. Of course, the Republicans were the ones that were anti-slavery, and the Republicans were ones, of course, were the Northerners that fought. And
Man, when did you guys? When did the good guys become the bad guys, and the bad guys become the good guys? When did that change?
Somewhere
happen?
around season 4.
Everything just fucking flip flopped on that.
When did we start liking Jamie Lannister? I don't know, but we did.
Yeah, it's a great point.
It's true.
Right, that's a good one.
I like Jamie Lannister.
Tim, you're dying.
I am dying. I'm convinced I'm dying. I, exaggerate a lot, but I think this is it. I really do think
You
this
seem
is
like
the
you're
end.
holding this together.
I don't think I'm going to make it to E3. My big problem here
You
is the
have to go
last
to
time we were
E3.
sick was the PAX Pod.
We all
to
go
to
or none of us go.
the PAX Plague.
I'm
You're
down
coming.
with that
You're
one.
chained to me. You're not getting away.
I'm down with none of us.
When we were at PAX, it was like day 2 or something. Then all of a sudden, me and Kevin just got hit fucking
PAX Prime?
hard. Yeah.
Well, it's
PAX
'cause you
Prime
hang out with
last
Kevin.
year. I know it sucked. It was bad, and you got hit too.
Mm-hmm.
So then,
And I never get punched by the sickness.
me neither. We were pretty. That was the last time I've been sick, and then that left you guys. You guys did the show. And you
we did
talked about
power
being
through.
sick.
We never get sick. What the fuck is wrong?
So now we're after coming off a Kind of Funny Live.
Yeah, you're tired,
And
exhausted.
I treated my body like utter shit.
Yeah.
For at least 2 weeks.
You treated it like
Really
Kevin
bad.
treats his normal body.
Normally, yeah. And I don't have the resistance that Kevin has built up over the 26 years of his life.
Kevin only gets sick every 3 weeks. So
yeah. Kevin
You're
used
like
to,
the- you're
used
the
to
new
give me
Ryan
shit for
Clements.
being sick all the time, but no. So I haven't been sick since this
But
past thing.
he's the opposite. Clements always got sick because he was too clean. He had no antibodies. Kevin will drop a sandwich in a gutter and pick it back up and eat it.
No.
Then wipe his hands on his pants, wear the pants the next 4 weeks.
Well, the last part.
Yeah.
It's
true. Anyways, I'm really not doing well. Like right after.
Are you getting better?
So about 2 days after Kind of Funny Live, I realized that I was like, oh fuck, I'm getting sick. I can feel it. That shitty feeling. Then I wake up one day and I'm like, I can't go to work. Like I had to miss Gamescast or whatever it was that day. I'm like, shit, I just really can't do this because my head felt like there was water in it. You know what I mean? There was that whole thing. I was like, I just need to sleep this off. Slept the entire day. Wake up the next day with a sore throat. The head feeling's gone, but now I got a sore throat. Wake up the next day with an earache. I haven't had an earache since I was like 4 years old. And like, do you guys remember
Can you
having
not be
earaches?
here?
I don't,
No, he's not contagious. It's too
I
late.
think I'm past that at this point. But
You better hope so.
Maybe we'll get sick and not have to go to E3.
when's the last time you guys have had earaches?
Nick!
How does it go?
It's you do it. No, damn it! You do what the other person's doing. There you go. Thank you. When's the last time I had an earache?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had an earache.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man.
I don't.
Oh, you've had an earache.
Have I?
I'm sure you've had an earache.
We'll call big old Jamie Kennedy.
It sounds like you have a sinus infection.
So the problem was I haven't had an earache since I was like 4, and I remember them being the most traumatic experiences I've ever had because I'm a dumb little kid. So as I grew up, I was like, oh, I was a dumb little kid. Like I must have been bitching about nothing. And then let's see what big old Jamie Kennedy has to say.
'Cause I had a lot of ailments growing up. I don't remember earaches being one of them.
Oh, you sure did have a lot of ailments growing up, didn't you?
I got them all written down.
Hello, Greg.
Hey, Mom, you're on the GameOverGreggy show. How are you?
Good. How about you?
Good. Hey, in all my litany of sicknesses and whatever, did I suffer from earaches?
No, you never had earaches, but you had throat problems all the time. That's why you had your tonsils and had noise sticking out.
Yeah, throat problems. I had a big throat problem. Still do.
Yeah.
It's too awesome.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Should have been all taken care of when we took out those organs.
Yeah, well, they probably left one in. All right, thanks, Mom. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
I don't know if it was taking out the organ so much as putting an organ into his mouth. Over
Oh, my mother was just on the phone.
I at least had the decency to wait till she was on. Tim's doing fucking giant cocks going in his mouth.
No, that could have been anything. It
least
could have been a
they're
big
giant.
hot dog.
It was a cock.
It could have been.
Oh, damn it.
It was
All right,
definitely
cool.
a cock.
It was a big
Well,
fat
okay,
dick.
whatever. Ear infections or earaches fucking suck. And
They do.
I haven't
Can't
had one
sleep
since
really
I was very young. And then all of a sudden I woke up at like 3 a.m. and I'm like, what the fuck is this pain? It was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my entire life. It did not go away for like 6 hours. Couldn't go back to sleep. Just ringing pain. Like nothing made it feel more comfortable or anything. I was just like, fuck, I want to die. This is not worth living.
Sure.
Had some ibuprofen eventually, and it eventually dulled a little bit. Since then, my ears have just had a constant ringing for the last couple of
Ringing?
days. Yeah, it's just all I hear is ringing now. And it's like, this I can handle. This is just like,
Maybe you have tinnitus.
baby stuff.
When are you going to go to the doctor?
I don't know.
I do.
When am I?
You had tinnitus?
Am I going to do it
little bit.
before E3?
Yeah, you could
I
easily
don't
do that
know.
before
I
E3.
don't think I can. It's too much to do before E3.
No, there
Then
really
there's
isn't.
VidCon, and then there's Let's Play Live
That's
somewhere
after.
in there.
Those are after E3.
I'm worried about this, Greg.
Nick,
I'm
do
really worried
Colin
about
Greg
this.
live on Friday, okay?
Okay.
There you go. You got the morning off. You can go
Well,
do that.
I'm gonna guess Tim. There's a few setup things he has to do before because I don't think he's been to a doctor in probably a few years.
That's the problem.
So
I
he
haven't.
probably doesn't have a primary care physician.
I got a good one. I'll send you.
There's so much issues with my life. My life is so hard, and I don't like it. I really, really, really don't like it. The ear infection thing was like the worst part because that was the pain. And then after that, the last couple of days have just been me just kind of like dealing with it, but it's just not going away. Like I felt like I was on the decline of it, and then all of a sudden now it's like still here, and I'm worried because it's been a whole week.
Yeah,
and I've been like just down in NyQuil.
Are you sleeping a lot?
Yeah, like
I mean, you might have an actual sinus infection.
So now I'm worried I have an actual infection.
You should go to the doctor
and get some antibiotics,
and maybe not be in my house.
Walgreens probably too. They got stuff. Did you go there? They got to have ear drops and.
I feel like my throat's getting a little scratchy though.
That's just.
I hope that
don't
it
worry.
doesn't.
Don't worry. I'll make sure that you get to LA.
I got that. So I'm on the opposite end. I want to be good for E3. I can't wait for E3.
I mean, if you're gonna get sick, this is a great time right now.
It's early. It's early.
Exactly. You gotta wait. You gotta stretch it out.
I won't know until Saturday, Sunday. Whether or not I want to poke you right there.
Why? On my vote
You got a
sticker?
button.
The thing you'll never have?
Probably not.
You're not gonna make it to vote.
I just have a
today.
string of them on my shelf that I put.
I put one on a PSP once. That was my.
Cares.
I loved it.
That was your
I loved
thing?
it. That was my thing.
Yeah.
So go to the doctor.
I don't know, man.
Why don't you go to the doctor, dude?
Because it's gonna be a lot of. Honestly, it's a time thing. I mean, I don't have
not gonna
anything
take
set
that
up.
long.
Don't have that shit. Like I don't know.
Just go to the fucking
Go
doctor.
to urgent care by.
Oh no, you're gonna. It'll cost you an arm and a leg.
No, it won't.
You have
It's
insurance.
$100.
At most $100.
Yeah, go to urgent care.
Yeah.
It's
Be like,
they
hey,
take about an hour to get in. Like
breaking.
I've had this thing forever.
Take your
They'll
Vita.
just give you a prescription for antibiotics, and you'll take.
Yeah, you
them,
need
and
like.
that's it.
If he has anything.
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
And make sure
You're not
to
helping.
cough
Your
indirectly into
fucking
Nick's mouth
neck
on
isn't
Friday
working.
night or
Lick
Saturday
my
morning.
mouth with your mouth
Will do.
right around Friday.
Any of you who want to get sick, it's super simple. Just accept bear food from Kevin. Ask for
I'm
whatever.
sure
Hey, can I
that
have
happens
one
no
of
matter
those
what.
chicken wings? Can I have that
I
cookie?
don't eat bear, so.
Is that a joke or that was a joke? Okay,
That was a
you
joke,
don't
yeah.
eat bear.
Mhm. That was a joke.
You're a piece of shit, Kevin.
It really is. No, I mean, I'm most. I want to go to the doctor. My problem is that we're running out of time here. There's a lot
Friday.
of shit that has
Friday.
to get done.
Friday.
Friday, I got shit to do Friday.
You don't have shit to do.
I got to get passports and stuff Friday.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, I forgot you don't have a
This is
passport.
an issue.
You can do that at the same time. Go to urgent care and there's Walgreens across the street. Wait, no, that's
Dude, make an appointment for a post office and just go get it all taken care of.
Rob a bank.
When I got my passport, it was dealing with the federal government nightmare issues always because federal government's inept and sucks. But the getting my passport was like the easiest thing I'd ever done in my life. I was shocked. It was almost like the story I told when I set up Erin's internet with Comcast, and it was like I was like, really, that's it?
That is
Like
the
every once in a while, like you know.
That's the opposite experience I had renewing my passport, which was the most inept experience of my entire life. Because the guy that was working at the post office, and maybe it was his silent protest, but he just refused to answer any more than one question at a time before going and helping someone else. So I brought the form up to him, and the form doesn't make any sense.
No,
And you have to give them your passport, which is terrifying. Because you're like, if this gets lost, then I just don't have a passport, and I'll never be able to renew it. And then I was like, so is this, what am I supposed to do here? And the guy's like, oh, yeah. That's probably where your birthday goes. Excuse me 1 second. And then would like go away and help someone else. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is the worst.
The
You
scariest.
need to make sure you don't have to fast track it though.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I mean,
You're gonna have to
I'm
pay for it.
screwed. I'm very screwed when it comes to all this shit.
You're gonna have to go to an outside agency to do it then.
See, the problem is you just keep putting all this off, though.
Mhm.
You gotta tackle one of them. You gotta tackle two of them.
Yeah, the passport needs to happen. And the scariest thing for me about when I got my passport was you actually have to give them your birth certificate.
See, that's
and
my
then
problem.
they just take it.
I don't even wanna get
and then
into
they
this.
mail it back.
Well, you don't have a birth certificate?
I do.
It's lost in your mom's house?
Completely unobtainable.
Well,
It's not lost.
You're
I
completely
know
not
exactly
getting your
where it is.
passport then.
Yeah, that's
No, because I need to go get the birth certificate and then I can get the passport.
Yeah, without the
I know the process. I just need to do it.
This is a quest.
It is. It is.
It's
This
a
is
multi-part
such a
fetch
fucking-
quest. It's just like
here's-
Witcher 3.
Here's what I'm gonna propose.
It's good.
It's gonna sound like a lot of work because it is, but it'll be worth it in the end. We're doing another Game Over Greggy show tomorrow. Let's do it in the car. Driving around, doing errands for Tim.
It's a great idea.
Take the whole setup into urgent care. Just sit there
I
talking.
love that idea. I love that idea. That
I'm
doesn't
into
infringe on anyone's privacy at the medical office.
like
No,
it.
not at all.
I will say that I've been to Europe 3 times, been to Asia twice. You're not really missing anything. So I can tell you about it.
Okay.
It's
Tell me about Asia.
Asia's an interesting place. I've been to Japan twice. It's a very nice country, very clean. The people are very nice there. The food's very good. So
Do they like
you're
Mario stuff
basically
there?
already set. Oh yeah, they love video
You
games.
already know Mario, so you're fine.
They love
good
video
with
games. So
Mario.
you're pretty much okay with
Okay.
Japan. Europe, some people speak English, some people don't. The food's okay. There's a lot of terrain, different kinds of terrain. The geography is a little different, and there's a lot of countries very close together, and you can go in between them very easily because of the EU. And
So it's fast
basically,
travel
that's
system.
all you're missing. So you can probably just stay in the United States and be totally fine. I'm good.
Ham sandwiches are big in France.
I like ham.
Putting that out there. That's the one thing.
They call it au jambon.
Jambon.
I like their little accents. They do that well.
In any train station, you can say
me when you do that.
"Oh, jambon," and they'll bring you a Sam sandwich.
Whenever I say
Okay.
bone, I'm looking at you or at least thinking about you.
Good.
Bone.
No, but you should get. So when I got my passport, I was at IGN and I actually just charged.
That was your
IGN
first time?
Yeah, I
Oh,
actually
wow.
charged IGN for the fast track because I needed to. So it's not that expensive. I think it's like $100, and the State Department will do it in like a month instead of like 2 or 3.
Yeah. No, I looked into it recently to try because I was trying to figure all this out before we got screwed, and we just constantly get screwed because we just do so much shit. So
Well,
I know what we need to do.
I feel like the pressure should be coming off you, right? In a way. Kind of Funny Live was the pressure cooker killing you, and then I took the baton for E3.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
killing
we
me
planned
now.
it, but like that doesn't mean everything else isn't happening.
No.
He's got
I mean,
3 or 4
E3
days.
is
of-
happening.
Kind of Funny Live.
Will there
E3
be
is
exclusive merch?
happening? There won't be exclusive.
Oh, that
merch.
sucks. I don't want to
There
go.
should be.
Actually, there will be. It looks like these Lego Dimensions, Green Arrow, Supergirl.
Well, yeah, not
they
all
look
exclusive
fucking
merch.
real. I cannot wait.
Is it Green Arrow? I thought it was just the Arrow. His name was the Arrow.
No, that's on the show. It was called Arrow, and then eventually he became Green Arrow there too. But it was always Green Arrow. Now he's Green Arrow there too. It's cool.
He came back when he had the armor that went around his tricep.
He does
Calls
have
him
he does
Green
have some
Arrow.
tricep. Is that this is a bicep though, right?
Well, it kind of curled around this way.
Oh,
it was
okay.
weird. I don't like the costumes on Arrow, but we won't get into that now.
I don't mind.
You should go to Urgent Care.
What's going on with John Diggle? I didn't even watch the season. He's
I haven't
wearing a
watched
fucking
season.
weird ass helmet.
Oh, that's been 2 seasons from now, and it looks
Really?
weird. Yeah, this
No,
Spartan
because I
helmet.
watched last season.
The Spartan helmet.
Yeah, with the
it's-
visor and
it's
shit.
terrible.
That was this season.
I thought it was last season. I haven't watched at all this season, so leading into Legends of Tomorrow, he got that. I didn't like it at all.
We'll save it. We'll save it.
All
We'll
right.
save it. We'll save it.
We should have an Arrow at all.
Actually, we'll just jump into it. It's my topic now. Tim's dead, everybody. If you're just joining us, Tim
That
is a
topic
ghost.
is going to be headlined. Tim Gettys is useless and dying.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, my topic is in the vein of this, and we're going to get to Arrow. But it's going to start with, I've broken up with Game of Thrones. When I broke up with Christine, I didn't realize it at the time.
Breaking up left, right,
I
and
was
center.
breaking up with Game of Thrones too, because she was the motivator. I watched Game of Thrones because she wanted to watch Game of Thrones. And I was always like, this is fine. But then the show would end, and she'd be like, ooh, that's different than the book. And I was like, oh, what happened in the book? And she'd tell me what happened in the book. And I was like, what happens next? She's like,
And
you
you'd
want
be,
me to ruin it?
like,
No, it would be like, no, fucking Tyrannosaurus went and did this. And I'm like, which one's Tyrannosaurus? And she's like, it's this one. And I'm like, is he the really big? I don't know. Like, who are?
is he the little person?
Is he the one hanging out with the little girl? And like, no. And like, we went. Eventually, I just had the name. Well, we're talking about Dinkle. We're talking about the guy with no dick,
Dinklebot.
Dinklebot. And that's the only one I'm talking about. Destiny.
Who's the kid that got pushed out of the window?
Bran? I remember that because he's like Bran Flakes, and that always makes me giggle. Like he keeps people regular.
Who's the big ogre guy?
That's Hodor. Come on, that's
Hodor.
easy.
Who's the guy that always is scheming?
Littlefinger.
No, he's the no dick guy. Oh no, there is that guy too.
Oh, the other who's the no dick guy?
no dick guy is the
Yes.
eunuch dude. He looks like
Lord
he
Ferris.
he doesn't
he's
have
like
a penis,
he's
right?
like an effeminate kingpin. That's
Doesn't
how
he,
he's
didn't he get his
referred to him.
penis cut off or something?
Yeah, that's
He
his
has
thing.
no pee-pee.
Ferris?
Maris?
Who's the other guy that got his penis cut off?
Varys.
Oh,
There's the Unsullied.
that's-
Golf. No, Gort. They renamed him Gort
The
or whatever.
What?
The Unsullied.
That is true, but we're thinking
The
about the guy.
Unsullied don't have dicks,
The
and
motherfucker-
Theon Greyjoy does not have a dick.
Who's-
we
that's
don't
true.
know if the Unsullied have dicks or not.
No,
Who's-
no.
Might not have balls.
Who's
Oh,
They don't got no dicks.
the woman that likes the fire?
Melisandre.
Daenerys.
but she can't get burned by fire.
Daenerys can't get.
But I don't like that
Are you
Daenerys.
talking about the Red Witch lady?
Yeah.
Melisandre.
Oh, she's so
Daenerys pissed me off a lot because it was literally like
Dutch.
Khaleesi, Daenerys, Dany. There's all these names, and people like you use them interchangeably. So I have no fucking idea. Well, for a while, I had no fucking idea who you're talking about. We're getting off track. Christine was the motivator to go watch this show. I was fine
Who
with
is
it.
Khaleesi?
She's Dany.
No, Khaleesi's a title. She owns that title.
I believe the full name is Dany Daenerys Khaleesi. Drago, Prego.
Is it hyphenated?
Stormborn.
Where's the hyphen go?
Everywhere. Every letter.
Really long name.
So I came around this season. It was time for Game of Thrones to come on, and I just never, ever was motivated or cared about watching. And then every Sunday night, people are freaking out on Twitter, and with the Hodor stuff, no spoilers. I was like, what? I liked Hodor Front. What happened to him? And I just went and read Geek and Sundry's recap. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. But it took me 3 minutes to read it here rather than the 30 minutes to watch the show that may or may not
Very
have naked
poignant
people in
moment
it.
in the show, though.
But it
We
still
got to
hit
be
home.
real careful
It
about
still hit home.
spoilers.
Yeah, we're
in
not
this
gonna
topic.
we're not gonna spoil anything.
There's-
I'm just-
I mean,
You know, making sure everyone knows that.
I can understand if you were to say you were going to break up. I mean, I'm assuming this is a larger issue for you, but breaking up with Game of Thrones last season, I could see.
See, I think that's part of it is that I stumbled along with last season.
Yeah, last
I'm like,
season
why-
was
what's
a
going
lot
on?
of setup, and in my opinion, probably the worst season of the entire show up to this point. This season, because they are sort of racing to the end now, a lot of stuff is moving a lot faster, and we're getting a lot of answers to things. So unlike, like they're not doing the thing that I hoped they wouldn't do, which is the Lost ending where they're like, oh shit, we have to scramble and answer a bunch of stuff very quickly. Now they're not setting anything up anymore. Yeah. Now it's with the exception of a small characters here and there, but now it's sort of like let's start having definitive ends to what's going on.
I just feel like they burned it too. They took too long to get there. I just don't care. I don't have it in me, and that's the problem.
I respect that.
Thank you.
I don't understand this, Greg. I really don't. Like Game of Thrones to me is like on another level of I don't understand what we did as a species to deserve something so good, so well thought out.
We supported
so fucking
George
engaging.
Railroad Martin.
It's crazy to me.
Prolific
Like
Jets fan.
I was talking to Kevin about this morning. Like the amount of characters on this show and the amount of phases and eras that we've seen and different families and different places in this world. Like when you look from season 1 to where we're at now, it's ridiculous. Like just even if you look at any single character and look at their journeys, there was so few low points. And all of it makes sense enough that I'm like, holy shit! Like it's so well thought out, all of it. And it's like when you start talking about it, like, all right, there's zombies and there's
don't even get me started on the Icemen.
But you bring in all these like other
from
elements.
Season 1, they're coming. Oh, they're still coming. Oh, they're coming. Oh, we see one. They're coming. Fucking get there.
They're coming, and that's
Too
the
late.
end.
No, you had your chance.
No,
you
that's
had your
the
chance,
end.
Iceman.
The Iceman will come at the end, and that's the whole point. And I like that. They are giving us these little things throughout the seasons. There's so many characters and so many plots that they're jumping back and forth. And you get all the like those the buddy systems where it's like, who the fuck thought Hound and Arya would be cool together?
That was cool.
Awesome,
that was a cool part.
right?
Yeah.
And so you start seeing, or Jamie and Brienne, like those moments make it all worth it. And it's like I was joking about earlier, like Jamie, who the fuck in season 1 would have thought they had to like and root for Jamie? Yeah. And now we're at a point where it's like, you don't even know who to root for because you're kind of rooting for everyone, but you're also kind of against everybody. And I love it. I think that it's the level of detail and the attention that they give to everything. And from a cinematographer point of view, like I can't believe how crazy the shots are, especially this season. Like the symbolism they use and the way that they use the camera. I was telling Kevin, there's a shot in this episode that I'm not going to give character names or anything, but there's one character who's like walking and there's a lot of death around them. And then it cuts to another character walking with a lot of life around them, but they're dying. And it's like total flip of what we saw a couple seasons earlier. And I'm like, man, like the level of detail where they thought about that. And there's so much, nothing is there just because. There's always a reason. I fucking love it.
I respect that fine. But I don't. It's not my life, and I don't need it. And this goes back to Arrow, where I finally was just like, I bailed halfway through last season of Arrow because it was so bad, and then I've only heard bad things about this one too. Did the dog just throw her own toy? That's something Lola does, huh? That's awesome. Yep, that is awesome. She just plays with herself. That sounded weird. But I gave up on Arrow and didn't miss it this season, and then I started Legends of Tomorrow, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm good.
No, yeah, I mean, I think that's systemic of just an issue that network and cable television is having in general. Like HBO, I don't count as cable television. I count them as like a premium network. They're giving you something different, and in this regard, I think Tim's right. Like you should come back to it because I think you're going to see a story unfold at the end of all this that is truly unique and awesome, and of such a scale that we probably won't ever see that again. But then you go to things like Arrow, you go to things like Legend of Tomorrow, and they're just cookie cutter toward a certain degree. Like how they're going to go. They're very formulaic. They're very monster of the week. You're not getting a very unique experience there because they just can't. They are pigeonholed to 23, 12 between 12 and 23 episode seasons. They have to do way too much with way too little. With the exception of Flash, I just don't think there's much there for a lot of these shows. I haven't watched Supergirl, but I have to imagine it's probably kind of a variation on the theme. Yeah. It's just there's just too much of it, right? And that's the other thing too. Is we are aware of how much it is, and we are educated now. So we get bored very quickly when people don't deliver something new. But it's really hard to deliver something new because we've been watching TV on this planet now. TV's not new anymore, Yeah. And
well, that's the interesting thing when you talk about it. You're talking about all these DC shows and even Gotham, which I never even gave a shot. Like, I remember when Smallville was on TV and it was so fucking amazing that there was a comic book TV show or whatever. Mm-hmm. And now there are so many of them that it's just like, I can finally pick and choose, and I feel weird doing it because I feel like I should be watching everything, but I just don't care about it.
You got it. Yeah, but I mean, I revel in that now, where I'm like, I had a bunch of stuff that I used to tape or the DVR rather, and I just get to a point where I'm like, am I just filling time with this?
And that's the thing is, like, I've always been the guy who wants to play games. I'm playing games as my entertainment. Mm-hmm. TV is really only there on the DVR for when I'm eating. So I can
Right.
put something on and have it go because you can't do both.
Which isn't very often these days.
Twitter.
Ooh. Yeah, I even fear The Walking Dead. Like, awful this season. Like, it's just a terrible start to that season.
Gave
So
up
many
on it.
people on the Reddit have been like, no, come back. It gets better. I'm like, I don't have time for it to get better. I don't want this. It needs to be great out of the gate. If I'm even gonna pay any attention to this crap. And I just don't want to pay attention to this crap. So I'm not. And I thought that I would miss it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I only have I rest in peace, Nashville. I'm sure someone will pick it up and fix it.
I hope someone picks it
I
up.
want Real Walking Dead to come back, of course. It'll be back soon enough. And we'll be mad about the premieres. We were mad about the ending, I'm sure. I watched The Girlfriend Experience at the urging of one Nick Scarpino and Damon Hatfield.
What did you think of that?
It was interesting. It was different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the big thing about it. Probably why it's I think you were the one who was talking about how fast the episodes go.
Yeah.
They totally do. I watched 2 a night and then would go to bed or whatever. It's like how I was winding down my evenings. And yeah, it was fascinating because it was something completely different. It was this character who we're talking about rooting for, right? And I was like, I don't like you. I know you're not, well, you're like a weird, you are a sociopath. You are correct and all this. And then it was like creepy
It's
because
unsettling as hell.
the actress played it so well that you're like, man, like, is she like this in real life?
Yeah.
Portillo, come here. Is she like this in real life? Is she that weird? I don't know what's going on. Da, 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 da. And so, yeah, that was different. But even the ending of it was like super weird because it did the whole thing where it peaked and like, here's like the climax and her world's blah, blah, blah. I don't want to spoil it for people. And then it was like, and here's 2 more episodes of like life after that.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. And then it just ends like really awkwardly. But I'm like, I guess that's like the point, right? That her life is in an awkward weird place.
That's what exactly why I liked that show, because it's everything is so similar now that when you find an experience like the Girlfriend Experience, where you have a show like that it does not try to do the same well-traveled road as every other show out there. I yearn for those kinds of experiences now.
Yeah.
And it is unsettling, and it's not a show that you're going to walk away and be like, huh, I learned something.
But yeah,
right?
no, and that's totally fine, and that's why it stands out.
Right.
It's the same thing I think what we look for in games, where it's like you look for a game that breaks the mold or does something different, or that, you know, I mean, the reason Fallout 4 doesn't resonate as much with us is because it's Fallout 3 again, and that's the same thing probably with like the reason Season 4 of Arrow, Season 5 of Arrow, whatever, it isn't resonating the same ways because we've seen a million seasons of this.
Right.
Well, I think, to Nick's point, I think, so I watched Game of Thrones, I think through, can we spoil anything from a few years ago, or is that a faux pocket? I can tell you
A
exactly
few
where
years ago,
I
it's
think
fine.
you're midway, not even midway through season 4.
I think
Yeah,
I
like
know
when,
where you
when
stopped.
what's his name died. it was
Joffrey.
That's where I saw that episode. I think I saw an episode after that and I stopped. And there's no real reason for it. It was just like I think it's a great show. I agree with Nick that like we're looking for something like maybe a little bit of hybrid of what Greg and Nick have both been saying, which is that I think we're looking for unique experiences, right? Like I Love Lucy resonated so much with people and still resonates with people because it was really the first of its kind, and so like it was like a unique kind of show. Or I think even though we shit on Lost, like Lost was so intriguing because there was really nothing quite like that,
Right.
on television at the time. Especially that was kind of in the we had the internet in the early 2000s, the mid 2000s, obviously, but it was like really before we had VOD and all these kinds of things. Like that was an experience. Like people used to sit down and watch that. I was in college when I was on.
Lost.
Yeah, I was like I used to I used to go to my friends almost every week and watch that show live. It was like an event, and so I think that to me, there's only a few shows I've watched in the last few years that I like have had any resonance with me at all. I was really sad when Mad Men was over because I think Mad Men's one of the great shows of all time. I think that's like a fucking unquestioned, beautiful show. Perfect. Almost. A little problem, but even the last season was fucking awesome. Symbolic. I loved it. We talked about it, extensively. Even shows that are a little pulpy and not like great, like Jericho, I really loved because again, it was unique and like that was I love the idea of the United States ending and getting bombed and all this kind of stuff and like what is that like? There were shows that have come and gone that were come back every year, like House of Cards, that is going to be really good. I've said time and again, I think Man in the High Castle is a fucking fantastic show. But like, there's only so much time for this. So when Game of Thrones stopped speaking to me on the level it was speaking to me, say in the first 2 seasons, I was like, well, I'm not really married to the show, and I used to watch it by myself, so it was like I'm not really enjoying it with anyone. I did have those moments, those rousing moments of, the last episode of the first season was a fucking amazing episode. And the one thing I really like about Game of Thrones that I think I respect more than anything is that it's not fan servicey at all. Like obviously a lot of it's already been written.
Yeah.
But nothing's sacred. And I think that there aren't a lot of shows like that where they're like, fuck you. Like we're killing this character. Now we're killing this character. Now we're killing this character. You like this guy, he's dead. we're gonna gruesomely murder this person. Or this person's just gonna disappear. This person becomes bad, or this person becomes good. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like I think the one thing I respect most about Game of Thrones is that it has no respect whatsoever for the end user. It's just like, this is the story. And you see things getting circulated on Twitter and on Facebook all the time. People getting upset when this happens or this person's dead or whatever. And it's like a big middle finger to them. And I'm like, that's awesome. It's like, because you're still going to watch it. And we want you to get attached to these characters so you feel something. It's as opposed to like
But see, that's
The Sopranos, where like we knew Tony Soprano was probably going to die eventually. And I think he did die in the last episode. We don't really know one way or the other. But you're not going to kill Tony Soprano in the second season of The Sopranos.
No.
You know? Like, but
not
this
if you
one,
want to
they're
go
just
6
like,
seasons or 8 seasons, however long it went.
and I love that. So I'm like, the show's just about different people now. Or like there's like one or two people, but you thought it was really about this person, but it's not about that person because he's fucking dead.
Right.
And now you think all those guys, and I was like, I really like that, but it is labyrinthine storytelling to the max. And like, it's one of those things that I don't think is accessible to a lot of people. I think a lot of people, I really do believe a lot of people watch Game of Thrones, and I think I was one of them that has in a very literal way lost the plot. I think that people just like watch it because it's part of the zeitgeist.
That'll
That
be
kind of
one,
thing.
that's why it'll be interesting to see when it gets to the end and it is, all right, this is the final season. How many people catch up? Will I catch up? Will I do because that's what I did with when Breaking Bad had announced its end, but like it was still like 2 seasons out. I finally one weekend gave it a chance and just marathon binge watched. I think it was 4 seasons and then watched the 5th one on demand because it was going on live or whatever. And it was like that was a great way for me to get into it rather than try to keep up. It's like comics, right? When you're trying to keep up month to month and come back from breaks and try to figure out what the hell's going on, who these people are anymore.
Well, Breaking Bad specifically was like anything that takes those big breaks with or hiatus, those mid-season breaks they started doing to kind of to break up. Those were terrible.
Yeah.
Because they really do break up the sort of emotional involvement that you have in the show.
And that's why I think, Colin was talking about it. He mentions in Man in the High Castle, he talks about House of Cards. Like, yep, those are awesome experiences. Daredevil season 1 for me was an awesome experience. Jessica Jones was an awesome experience. Girlfriend Experience was an awesome experience because I got to sit there and just blaze through them on my timetable and not get lost and be really into it and know everybody's motivations from episode to episode, day to day that I was watching it, and then be done with it.
Yeah, and there's a certain magic to that, right? There's a certain like you get immersed in the world, and you have for the Girlfriend Experience specifically, there is a tension to that show that grows subtly and slowly that you're aware of from the very first frame, and then by the time that comes to a head, you're with her in that, right?
Yeah.
And it reflects. It's hard to describe because what you're talking about is how you're like, I don't like this character. But in any good storytelling, obviously, like you see yourself or parts of yourself reflected in the main character, right? That's why we sort of sympathize with them or we're on that journey with them, right? And so with that experience, you're like, God, this is so well done because I can understand why she's doing this, and I see the part of myself that would do something like that, and not to that degree, but
I know you like
she
sex
gives
and
up,
money, Nick.
Spoilers. I don't know if too many people are gonna watch it, but like
You should watch it. You can get your
maybe I
free
won't
trial
spoil
on
it.
Amazon.
But the idea behind it is that she is a high class escort, right? But she also has a law career, and you tell very early on that she really likes being an escort. And then it deals with sort of the taboos behind that, right? Her family is like, why are you doing this? And then she finally is. She never really says it outwardly, but you get the idea that you're like, she just really likes this, and this is something that she really likes, and why am? And then you're sitting there judging her, right? You're looking at her going like, why she shouldn't like that? This is illegal and immoral or whatever. But
the only thing I judge her for is the dead eyes all the time, the robot, like you know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean in like the sex. I just mean how cold she was, general from her law degree.
See, I love that.
And then she got to turn on the character as the escort. Yeah.
And so that to me, so going back to my point, when you hit that point where that character finally realizes that there's a power in that, and that is awesome storytelling. What the danger becomes when you, as the audience, you get that sense, whether it's you're aware of it or not, that they're stringing you along because they just want to keep creating seasons of the show. That's what happened with Lost, and that's what pissed me off about that show. Because I will say the first 2 seasons of Lost,
they're excellent,
are the best 2 seasons of television ever made.
Yeah,
followed by the third season where you're like, what the
third season was
what the fuck?
Awful. The third season was I remember coming back for the third season like, this sucks. And because when you go into the hatch, like the first episode of the second season was like when like
they blew your mind. You thought you were time traveling.
With Desmond and it starts with him like cooking or something. And I'm like, this is fucking awesome. And the numbers and all that.
Playing
kind
the
of
record.
I was like obsessed with the numbers. It was like really sad. I mean, there are contemporary shows or shows that have just recently ended that I think are good. The Good Wife's a really great show, but it's procedural meets it's really procedural meets serial. So I think that it's like easier to follow. Like you don't really have to watch it in order. Although you should.
SVU works so well.
Yeah,
Just pop in anywhere you want. What are you up to, Benson? Show me.
And I think that there are shows that people have recommended to me that I really want to watch. Mr. Robot apparently is supposed to be excellent, and that's like one of the shows that I really want to watch. But it comes back to me where I've been watching The Americans. Like I watched almost the whole first season. I'm like, this show just isn't good.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I want to what a great fucking idea. Deep cover. For people that don't know what it's all about, deep cover Soviets that are like so deep cover that they're like trained in the Soviet Union in the 60s to become totally American, and they come to the United States in the 70s and they're just a totally American family. Like they have American kids and like they don't ever speak Russian. They don't like ever talk. It's like really
cast
it's a really great idea. And I'm like, but this show just sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have time to like, everyone's like, it gets better in the second and third season. I'm like, I don't have time for this. Like,
that's that video game bullshit of it gets better at 20 hours in.
It's like,
no.
It's like, I don't want to invest that much. There's too many other things that I want to do and other things that I want to watch. And so I agree with you. Like, I want to get back to Game of Thrones because I know it's good. It's one of those shows my fucking father like loves. He's like obsessed with Game of Thrones. And when I know he gives things time, like The Walking Dead's another one where he's like, you got to get back into The Walking Dead. I'm like, you're telling me that?
You do.
Yeah. So
those are different things though. I recently got into Walking Dead where I started watching Game of Thrones at right when season 3 started. So I binge watched 1 and 2. I've been watching every Sunday that they released since season 3. Walking Dead recently, I just binge watched all of them and caught the latest season live as it happened. And like they're different shows. Walking Dead really is based just on those wow moments, and it is on the character dying and the shock of that, whatever. But Game of Thrones, it's like those death moments are just and it's not always death, but usually it is. They're more just the tentpole moments that kind of like catch your attention and stuff, but like all the other shit that happens in between really matters and really builds. And I think that what you were talking about of having the binge watching thing and just like how things are moving towards that, I think that Game of Thrones respects the artistry of the cliffhanger and of leaving you thinking about the show in a way that most shows that I watch do not do. Like Walking Dead, like they'll have their cliffhangers and stuff, but like most people feel really gypped from how they handled the last season
because that was so not them.
Exactly, right? And usually they're pretty good, but this season also they had the whole Glenn thing and there was a whole bunch of things they did that were questionable. Whereas Game of Thrones, when it does stuff, like I feel like you are missing out on Game of Thrones if you are not either binge watching it or watching week to week. And I think that it's a big thing because every week it is appointment viewing and it is something where all of my friends have plans around that show. Yeah. They're all watching it together. I every week text Kevin, where are you watching the show? How are we doing this? The next morning,
says, "Oh, my neck."
We'll talk about it, and it's discussing like where do you think the plot's going? And I think that the creators of the show specifically, the producers of the show, are so good at understanding the nature of fandom nowadays. And there's all these articles now about what fans demand and expect from all these forms of media. And I think that the creators of Game of Thrones know that and work around that in a really fun, unique way where we're questioning what's going to happen. And there's 3 more episodes this season. And we're trying to roadmap because that's how people engage with content now is you're trying to get ahead of it. You're always trying to get ahead of it. And them trying to come up with ways to surprise us that's where the fun comes. And not knowing, like having your theories, and there's a unique payoff to having your theories be right. And there's also something to being surprised. And I think Game of Thrones, it needed last season to build that. And it's not Game of Thrones gets good 3 seasons in. It's Game of Thrones needed a lull season 5 to build up so that they can now, they're past the books, rapid fire. We're setting up the end game.
I feel like I'm with you. And that's why I think it'll be it's a different opinion or lens when you binge watch, because that was what I always felt with Walking Dead season 2. Where so many people left like, this is boring, get out of the fucking woods. And I was like, why are we taking so long in the woods? Fuck Sophia, what is going on? But that was because it was stretched out in our real time lives.
See,
whereas when you
watch that,
when you binge watch, I remember you're the one who came back to me.
I love that season.
I hate it. I binge watched it. I still hated it.
Okay,
it was so slow.
I thought it was awesome. But that's the thing to me. Like those 2 shows have a lot of similarities, right? They're all these big epic, these epics that have multiple characters and multiple storylines happening. And you get invested in it, and they sort of evolve and flow. That's sort of where they end as far as the similarities, because to me, Walking Dead has been 3 or 4 different shows already, whereas Game of Thrones is just an epic tale that you can tell comes from amazing books. And I'm not saying one's better than the other. I love Game of Thrones, but season 1 and season 5, I'm sorry, Walking Dead season 1 and the last season, was it season 5? Last season 4.
I'm bad at that. No, it's more than 4, I would think.
No, yeah.
Whichever last season was.
6.
Just radically different seasons, radically different characters, totally different shows at this point, right? But that's fucking awesome.
And it's kind of the point.
It is the point.
Yeah.
But that's the problem is, and this kind of goes down into the minutia of what a fan is and whether or not we have the right to to sort of dictate what that content is really going to mean, because I find that my reaction to shows that are outside of the norm goes like this. What is this shit? I don't like it. It's not what I normally expect. And then, oh, wait, maybe this is something cool that's not, oh, I'm addicted to this. It was the same with House of Cards. It was the same with Game of Thrones. I watched the first couple episodes. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get into this. Then by like 3 or 4, I'm like, oh, this is something. I see what this is now. I didn't even know what to expect. This is amazing. Same with Walking Dead. It took me 3 years to get into that.
That's the thing with Walking Dead, which is, I think, difficult for me, because I realize that there's a bit of, I'm in my own mental conundrum with television where I'm like, I don't like The Walking Dead because it doesn't tell a lore-based story. But then I fell in love with a show like Downton Abbey that is nothing but character driven, like has no reason to exist other than the fact that it's just telling character stories. It has a social commentary, but it doesn't matter. Like, and so I'm like, well, that's a total contradiction. But I think it's because with something that's more sci-fi, or just Walking Dead's not really sci-fi, but something that's like fantastic. It's like you're looking for a reason for it to exist other than the reason. And so The Walking Dead for me was like, I'm tired of this. I'm like, I don't even give a fuck like about any of these characters. The world is what's interesting, and they refuse to talk about it. You know, and that was like one of the things where I'm like, so who gives a fuck about any of these people? What happened? You know, like, does anyone give a fuck? Like, I just want to like go around and shake people sometimes and be like, you almost touched on it at the end of season 1, and then you walked away from it forever.
Which was like the worst part of the entire show.
I liked it when they were going to the CDC, and I was like,
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, me too. I was like, holy shit, like what happened? What happened? It was
a massive
And then
dick
never
tease.
mind. And then they just left, or then they go to a farm for like 17 years, and then they go to like other things. And I'm like, all right, this is fucking boring. But I also realized that I probably should go back and watch it again, because I think that there's a contradiction there with some of the other character-driven stories that I like. In other words, it's saying that it's not right or wrong. It's that I've been looking at shows through the lens of Lost and Jericho, when it's those kinds of shows where it's like, these characters are fine, but like what happened? That's what's interesting. That's all I care about. Meanwhile, there's shows like Mad Men that are all about one person, and it's all story driven, or shows that I really hold in a high regard, like Sopranos is really not even about the story. It's about Tony Soprano.
Yeah, it's about the people. It's about Don Draper.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, I'm just looking for those different kinds of experiences. But when the thing that's I get afraid of going into new shows and kind of dedicating time to them is what I call the Breaking Bad effect, which was, I'm always looking for something new and something fun to watch and something to enjoy my time with. But then I'm always afraid that I'm going to hate this thing that like everyone seems to like. And I think Breaking Bad was trash. Like I hated that show.
Right, we talked about this.
And like the first season's excellent. I love the first season. And then it's just like, who are you rooting for? What is like, why are you doing this? Why are you being like this? None of this makes any sense.
Right.
I forced myself to the end of it. And at the end I was like, that was such a waste of time. I would have rather just thought that I never watched this great show. You know, I could always watch this great show, but I never get to it, as opposed to like, so I'm always a little bit afraid that I'm going to be a little bit out of the mainstream, which is why I'm trying to identify a few shows that I want to watch. Mr. Robot is the one that people have been like begging me to watch. And it sounds awesome. It's about a guy that's like sabotaging a corporation, basically, I think financially.
And it's the guy from Until Dawn.
It is the guy from Until Dawn. So, I don't know. I just think that like watching television is a selective kind of thing for me. And I just wish, thematically, that I was getting more of what I wanted. That's why I think Man in the High Castle is so cool. But what I really loved thematically the most, again, was Jericho. And I wish that we would get back into something like that was so like post-America that it's like really fun for me to watch, or whatever, and more lore driven. But it doesn't seem like anyone really liked that except for me. So
do you watch Veep?
Yeah, I watched the like most of the first season of Veep.
Okay.
It's great. It's a comedy though. Like comedies are easy to get into. Like I still go back and watch The Office constantly, or like when I'm just eating food or whatever, I'm watching. And there's like great documentary type series. Like I've been recommending The Circus, which is fucking awesome. But which I think is on Showtime. And the show that I've been falling in love with recently that I've been mentioned many times now is The Path, which is fucking rad. It's a really great show. It's on Hulu. It's about a cult in upstate New York, and it's fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Paul is the
Aaron
main
Paul's,
character. And it's really cool because it's about this like fucked up cult and like people that are trying to get out of it and people that are trying to get in it and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, I'm like, cool. So interesting subject matter. Mm-hmm. But this seems to marry this character driven shit with the lore driven shit, which is what I like the most.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's not a Lost situation where I had to like call my family 5 years later and apologize to all of them for getting them into Lost. I'm like, I know it's a whole waste. I'm sorry. Like I begged you to watch this show and you fell in love with it and you hate yourself now too. I'm sorry.
So to summarize, Game of Thrones sucks, bring back Nashville. That topic was brought to you by Harry's. A Harry's shaving set will make the perfect Father's Day gift. It looks cool, it feels special, and it's something Dad will actually use. Dads can be impossible to shop for. You don't want to get another tie or pair of socks he's never going to wear, but you don't want to get something really practical that doesn't feel special enough to be a gift. Thankfully, Harry's has you covered. While supplies last, Harry's is offering a special limited edition shave set for Father's Day. Get one for Dad and get one for yourself. Kevin, is my dad hard to shop for? Kevin has this dopey look on his head and he's shaking it. Now he's just spinning around the room. But no. Oh yeah, my dad's a crane operator. That doesn't look like what a crane looks like. My dad's hard to shop for. Construction worker, man's man, and I, of course, a man child who plays with toys and is on the internet. He doesn't. So I'm doing this business with the Harrys. Get him a good razor. It comes in a little thing. I can get it engraved. It's a good deal. The limited edition Father's Day shave set includes a matte black razor handle, a chrome razor stand, Harry's moisturizing foamy shave gel, 3 of Harry's handcrafted blade cartridges, and a travel cover, all for $40. Plus, it comes in a sleek, giftable box with the option to add custom engraving and a personalized card. I say put on the card, Dad, there's a monster under my bed, and then engrave on it, I'm the monster. And Dad will think you're crazy, but maybe, that'll be a story you can tell your grandkids one day. Harry's also offers shaving sets at different price points starting at $15. Close, comfortable shave. It's got these 5 German crafted blades, a flex hinge, and a lubricating strip. What do they think of next with razors? Think about this, Colin. If you were a caveman, you'd get a piece of shale and you'd get it nice and sharp and then you'd use that. But here we are and we have lubricating strips. The quality is guaranteed and it's a full refund if you're not happy. Order online to avoid the hassle of going to the store to pick it up a gift. Plus, shipping in the U.S. is free for all of Harry's shave sets. Go to harrys.com right now and redeem a special offer for fans of the show. Harry's will give you $5 off your first purchase with the promo code KINDAFUNNY, all one word. That's Harry's, HARRYS.com. Enter the code KINDAFUNNY at checkout to get $5 off. Get Dad something he'll actually use this Father's Day and put something really creepy in the engraving and personal card because it'll scare your father. And it's time he understands you are the alpha man, all right? You're not the kid who peed in a Dixie cup and threw it on the wall anymore. You are the wolf and he is the chicken. Ow! Ow!
Oh. Hello there. We did this episode yesterday, and I was thinking about it today, and I realized that the way I start the next topic might be jarring for some of you, especially if you're in mixed company or around people you don't want to hear really bad language. So I'm just warning you now, especially if you're listening to the audio version, you may want to shut it off if you're with people that you don't really want to hear bad language. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.
Colin.
Yes.
What do you got for me?
Cunt. Why is this word so offensive? Why is this word so offensive?
I have no idea. I've never
no idea.
understood this. If you can call everybody a pussy, why can't you call everybody a cunt?
So
I don't think you should. I think it is offensive.
But why? I don't get it. Is it just because it's reserved for like talking about that woman is very mean, so she's a cunt?
Yeah,
That's how it is in our society. Yeah, sure.
Well, I
but-
know. Oh, in Britain they use it all the time.
Yeah.
They're just throwing cunt around
so
like
this
no big
is,
deal.
so this is the thing, right? It's the word even in different English speaking societies, and I think the major English speaking societies, obviously the United States and England. In England, it's thrown around like the word cunt is basically like punk, or you're a punt, you're a punk, you're a cunt, you're a like, and they're just throwing this word around like it's willy nilly. But in the United States, it has this deep offensive connotation, like this deeply offensive connotation. Like it's a word you do not use,
right.
Yeah.
And I wonder why that is. So I looked it up.
Got me some history.
And
Benjamin Franklin said it once.
So there's
to Martha Washington.
So I found a bunch of stories, and you can really just Google why is cunt offensive, and find a bunch of things that people wrote. But on Slate, Forrest Wickman earlier in a couple of years ago in 2013 writes, "Rhymes with runt. How did the C word become such an offensive insult?" And it says the satirical newspaper The Onion offered a rare apology yesterday after a joke that a 9-year-old actress was kind of a cunt, right? Has the word always been so patently offensive? No. In Middle English, the word could be used as a standard term for the female genitalia in a manner that was quite matter of fact. The earliest instance of the word recorded in the Oxford English Dictionary is actually from the name of a 13th century London street. The name appears to have been quite literal, and there was at least one other red light district of the same name in Oxford. And then he goes on, the word became more offensive over the next few centuries, while Chaucer used the variant quaint in both The Miller's Tale and The Wife of the Bath's Tale, Shakespeare dared only to slyly allude to the word. In Hamlet, for example, when Ophelia tells Hamlet that yes, he can lie on her lap, Hamlet puns in his response, "Do you think I meant country matters?" That's some fucking deep Middle English shit right there. In Twelfth Night, Shakespeare finds a coded way to spell out the word when Malvolio recognizes his ladies, sees her use, ends her tease. So basically it goes on. This is a really interesting story. People can go read about like the evolution of it. But he goes, why has cunt become so much more taboo than say snatch or pussy?
Right.
The main reason may simply be that it's blunt. Linguists note that unlike those other words for the female genitalia whose origins are Latin, euphemistic or diminutive, cunt is plain and Anglo-Saxon. There is also the sound of the word. Many of the most taboo words, in addition to generally being Anglo-Saxon in origin, are monosyllables with short vowels, such as shit, piss, fuck, and cock. These are considered more offensive than words of the same meaning, like poopy, pee, screw, and willy. In fact, one of the only other words to share many of those characteristics is twat, which is also considered highly offensive, though its origins are uncertain. So, what do you guys think about this? This has always been a weird one to me. It's a word I don't use, but it's a word I don't use because in America, I've been programmed to never say it.
Right.
So when you watch like Guy Ritchie film, or you watch like or you just see something in England, like they're throwing this word around.
But they have a cool accent when they say it.
Right.
Oi, governor, you're cunt. You're like, oh, okay, you can say it. Cute.
So do you guys think that this word should be as loaded? Because I agree. It's like, why not? It means the same thing as pussy. We call each other pussies all the time. And there's no offensive nature to that.
It doesn't though, because with that in particular, that has a different connotation that over time we've given that. Like you wouldn't call someone a pussy and a snatch in the same way. You know what I mean? Snatch, cunt, pussy. Yeah, those all mean one thing, but like it's like a Venn diagram, and they don't all fall in the same way. I think snatch and cunt do. I think pussy is a different thing, where pussy is also used as a way to say that somebody is afraid of something or somebody is not, well,
also, yeah, I mean,
to do something.
It boils down to you wouldn't call a female a pussy. You wouldn't be like, that girl's a pussy. Like most of those terms are used derogatory against guys, right? So, and I would say the same thing. If I called one of you guys a cunt, I don't think it's as offensive as if I'm using that to describe a woman.
But I feel like that's so weird.
Like I called Tim a cunt the other day on one of the podcasts, and no one called me out in the comments about it. Granted, I don't read the comments.
No,
so
they did. I read the comments,
but it doesn't matter, right? Like I don't care, and no one's gonna get up in arms about me calling another guy a cunt. It's not gonna matter.
But they will.
Sure, but I'm not gonna get roasted on Twitter. Like the feminists aren't gonna get involved on Twitter and be like, this guy's using this term to describe women. It's not gonna happen. And even if it does, I don't care. But
please define the feminists to me.
All right,
feminists.
Are you not a feminist?
I am a feminist, sure.
Okay.
So I wouldn't do that to myself.
Yeah, I just think that the words, no word should be loaded, but it's a matter of, it doesn't matter whether or not they should be. They are. So it's like you got to keep that in mind. And it's up to you whether or not you care and give a fuck about how people feel about that stuff. But it's just like, I mean, I definitely am aware of that, and I don't use the word because I mean it makes me uncomfortable. I don't know why. It shouldn't, but it does because
it makes
of
you
all
uncomfortable
this.
because it's never said.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the thing. I 100% agree with everything we're saying. Is growing up until this day, how many times have I ever heard somebody say cunt when they're not talking about quoting a British movie, or how weird is it that we don't say cunt, or why somebody does say, like, everybody's like, whoa, you know what I mean? It's one of those words, I think, where
it's a trigger word too. I mean, that's the problem with this, right? Is like a lot of these words, you're especially us, you're afraid you don't want to use it incorrectly and get roasted. That's just the nature of the beast, right? And I'm not saying that's a bad or good thing. I mean, who the fuck wants that extra headache of saying something that you didn't necessarily mean as a bad, in a bad way.
2016, and in our world of video and Twitter and social media, it's a minefield.
If I called a woman a cunt right now, like not.
Do you want to address one of them? You can.
No, but if I were to do that, I would expect there would probably be a backlash to a certain degree.
Sure.
So I just don't do that.
But the question is, not that I'm saying you should use the word, or not that I'm saying the word's good to use, or that, but why? Like there's a deeper meaning here. I think they're onto something in that Slate article, that it is forward. It is just like cunt. Don't
you feel like also that we have to have words? Like there has to be a hierarchy of words, right? Because right now we're slowly like we're taking words back, or people are so we're losing words. We're not. I'm sorry. I'm trying to
team fat. We're taking that back.
But you know what I mean? Like there has to be. Words get desensitized after a while, right? Everyone can use the word fuck now. It doesn't matter anymore. When I grew up, if I use the word fuck, I'd get slapped across the face.
Yeah, me too.
I can call you a fuck. I can call anyone a fuck. That guy's a fuck. That girl's a fuck. It doesn't matter. No one really cares.
Fuck.
Fuck. But we say fuck all the time.
But it's interesting because the rule set is the same. Fuck is just as curt as cunt. Shit is just as curt. You know, and
But
so like I don't know that
I think our fuck is the UK cunt.
So I don't think it's monosyllabic, I guess, like in the sense that like it's not that it's just one syllable. There's more to it than that. I just think it's really weird. Like that word gets people aghast. I actually couldn't think, unless it's literally a sexually or racially a racial term or a sexual term, like a sexist term. I can't think of one word in the English language that makes people as aghast as that word. And to me, I'm like, I don't get it.
I think cunt's right up there with the N-word, yeah. Like, I mean, I think it's on that level. And obviously not right up there because I say the N-word rather than when I'm like,
right, but that word has literal historical connotation.
There's a
that's
reason
why we don't
for why
use
that's
it.
like it. I get
so
you.
like I get that. The same,
but I think this is the same thing where it's just taught at such a base level that that's the worst thing you can say to a woman. That it never gets said.
But like you could call not that I'm saying you should call a woman a bitch, and people do that, and people do get offended to that. I think we've all been in arguments with it, like where that word comes out and it's a terrible thing and you don't want to say it. It's a deeply offensive word. But people call women bitches all the time,
and I feel like
women call themselves bitches as well. And
that's the thing. That's a word that got taken back. I remember growing up, and if I was to say that one girl's a bitch, oh my god, it'd be World War III. And now it totally is #living with my bitches. It's a word that people have taken back into vernacular where it is that.
That's my favorite hashtag.
I shouldn't do that. I don't want to be a bitch or whatever. Like it's not just. I think it is very much where when we were growing up, if you said something and you said somebody was a bitch, you were specifically talking about a girl. You were not talking about I'm being a bitch right now. You're being a little bitch right now. It's that you were it's on the not on the level of, but similar in the use of. I'm calling this person a cunt because they are the worst kind of person.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's still a dangerous word to be throwing around.
Bitch?
Too. Yeah, that's one of those that I feel like I try not to throw around because for some reason I feel like that could be a trigger word as well.
I mean, things have just changed, and like it's funny you saying that because to me, bitch was totally a different connotation where it was never bitch was never female. Bitch was always just like a word that people use to describe. It was very similar to pussy. Yeah, you know. But I think all these words, especially now as we're at 2016, whatever, it's just we talked about this before with like retard or faggot or whatever, or gay, whatever. All these words, they're just words, but these words do cause people to feel a certain way, and I think that you just got to think about that shit. And it's like even when it goes from those hard words down to the mid words like bitch, it's like we've gotten in so many arguments over time, and I feel like more and more and more to the point where I'm like, why am I saying that if I don't need to say it? Even if it is in the term of living with my bitches, which I do say that stuff, but I now think about it when I do. Right. And I think, is it worth the joke? Is it worth what I'm saying? And it's just like, am I too sensitive or whatever? I don't know. I'm just trying to make people happy. Like I'm not like, that's the thing is I don't want to like upset people just to upset people. I'm not going to die on a fucking hill just because, other people want this freedom to,
you're trying to be crazy.
Say whatever you want. I'm like, all right, but I mean, like these are just words, and there's other words.
It's the power we give them, and that's the thing. I think when you keep a word like cunt closeted, and then you act like it is the worst thing in the world, then it is this nuclear warhead. Whereas I think you've seen it scale back, like you're saying with fuck. I do remember like that being the worst thing you could say.
Fuck was horrible. Now everyone uses it. Yeah. I mean, even myself, like in the course of this podcast, I used to never try to swear, and now. I drop the F-bomb.
Now you're on a topic about cunt.
Well, I mean, we're having an intellectual discussion about it. So,
but I do think
quasi-intellectual.
I do think I also
we can get to
it. To my credit or lack thereof, I do think that I have a bad effect on people's language. I curse.
You have a great effect on people's language.
No, but I mean, I curse like crazy. Like I've always cursed like crazy. And my mom used to get mad at me being like, you have such a great vocabulary, why do you curse? And I'm like, I'm not trying to impress anyone. Yeah, I do have a great vocabulary. It doesn't mean I have to wield it like I'm a fucking source all the time. There's no more powerful thing than say like, I'm fucking angry. Yeah? Like, who cares? But nonetheless, I think the difference between some of the words that Tim brought up and the word we're talking about now is like, well, the word retard is loaded. It's an historically loaded word. The word gay is used to describe, I mean, it means happy and joyful and all that kind of stuff, but that's not the way we use it. And
we talk about growing up and being stupid.
Right, exactly. Sure. And so like that, there's connotations to that, but with the word, like the word cunt, I'm like, well, that never meant anything.
But I mean, but it does though. It's just towards women. Like all those words are about a group in a specific way. And I think that's just towards women. We just don't think about women in that way, And I think that like historically later, we're going to look back at it and it's going to be like, oh, that was derogatory towards women. That was describing.
Oh, I'm not stating that the way people use it isn't derogatory towards anyone. What I'm saying is like, why is it more derogatory than some of these other terms? And why, like, is it more or less offensive if I call, Nick a cunt as opposed to a woman? I just think it's like, it's a word that I would never use, but I'm really just wondering, like, in a philosophical way, like, well, I can think of worse words that we do use. And I like the word to gyp someone. That's like an offensive term to a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know?
Gypsy,
Because that's
right?
with gypsies.
Gypsies, yeah.
Like, so, but we use that word and that word is kind of come and go. Like, I can understand way more why the word gyp is offensive, even though that's a word that's in American use every day.
Sure.
Than a word like that. So that's all I'm trying to say is like, I'm super interested to see what the audience thinks, especially our female audience, about this word because, and also the international audience, because I think some of the international audience will be super surprised. Lola's playing with her Annie. She loves that toy. I got her that toy. She loves it. I think the international audience might be surprised to find out that word is like maybe the most deeply offensive word in American American vernacular, apart from the obviously racially or sexually loaded terms that we don't use. But in Western Europe, that word is not offensive at all. So I do think that there's that other thing as well. There's a connotation there as well that I think is societal, that I think is worth exploring as well. And I'm super interested in why that is. And it's kind of hardening to think, because I was like, is this a question so off the beaten path and so offensive that people, I'm sure people have written about it, but do the people ever really talk about it? And I'm finding like major publications all when I'm searching about it before we got into the podcast being like, this is a term that's, or a question that's been asked by major publications. And I think it's a question worth exploring. Like I think to Tim's point, like, yeah, we shouldn't want to be offensive just to be offensive or just to explore our freedom of expression or whatever. It goes back to the old court case of like, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater or whatever. And some people would argue like, why not? And it's like, well, because it's like not in good taste necessarily. It doesn't really affect your freedom. You're not like really being restricted in any way. But in the same sense, it's like, we should probably question why we don't societally say things, even if there's no constitutional amendment saying that we can, or even if there's no rhyme or reason of why we do or don't. So I just thought it was an interesting kind of thing. And I've been actually mulling over this topic for some time because I'm like, I got no conversation.
We tried to do it when we had the 17-year-old on.
Well, I was going to do it that week, and I'm like, well, I don't think it's appropriate to do it with a guest, actually.
And the first thing I said to him was about prostitution.
Right. So you went there anyway.
I can't remember what it was.
But I had a conversation with someone, a woman recently, and and she totally agreed. She's like, I really don't get why like this word became so loaded, but it is, and we just avoid it. And I wonder if we will always avoid it, or if we will come around to it. But I really don't know, because I'm so afraid of that word that I would use it in an effective way anyway.
I don't feel people are clamoring for it. I don't feel like there is an audience that's like, man, we gotta take cunt back. And granted, it'll happen if it happens one day. A new generation of Tims rise up and need to say cunt.
I mean, I doubt that. I
Yeah,
doubt that.
that's
I mean,
the thing.
it's really,
We have enough words. Get
It's
out of here,
interesting for
British
me to
people.
think about all that, like swear words and stuff. I swear a lot. I swear constantly, and it's
Yeah.
just part of who I am and what I do. And I feel like when I was younger, I was way more like for
you.
people saying fuck and not for the censorship of all that.
Yeah.
But then I found now that like there's a lot of times, especially when I'm like excited about stuff, I just swear. It's like ticks. It's instead of me saying or like, I say fuck. Like, and I do that
I say
a lot.
fucking a lot. Like fucking,
Like noticing
Cars.
like at Kind of Funny Live, like being on stage. I can't even imagine how much I was swearing. I'm sure I was saying fuck every other sentence or every other, like once a sentence. And I think it's weird. And when you start noticing all that stuff, you start noticing like questioning. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Why don't I want to do that? I don't know. I just don't think that that's a good look.
Sure.
Period. That's the end of the statement there. It's not like I'm trying to like please a group of people by not swearing or swearing. It's just like, I just don't think it's who you want to be.
well,
you know?
there's also a difference between a swear word and a derogatory term, right? Fuck is a swear word. There's no real hidden like meaning in that, right? Versus the word cunt, which is typically about, referring to a woman that in a bad light, right? So shit and fuck, I mean, those are just words at this point, in my opinion, like words that adults are allowed to say. But yeah,
As Michael Richards said, some words.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, you know
My
what?
dramatic reenactment
You know
of
what's
the end of
an
Michael Richards' career.
That stand-up act that he did.
You know,
that was
what's
terrible.
interesting kind of, it's like a supplementary word. It's not a swear word. I remember when I was a kid, I was like, oh, you don't say it. Is the word damn. And that word actually,
Or hell.
Yeah, hell. Like these words are religiously loaded, damnation and all that kind of
Well, that's
stuff.
the funny thing about as much as I curse on Twitter or social media, I get way more feedback of like, why do you have to say that when I say goddamn?
Oh, I mean, that's a huge thing with all of it. Because to me, I'm like, that's just something you say. That's just a phrase.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it is just a thing you say. But then like people I know that are religious, like kind of like, I can see them getting uncomfortable. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, this is weird. This is weird. You know?
It's weird, but it's also, we're
And then
going
Tim
deep
screams,
down
your
the
God
rabbit-
is fake.
My God, I have the seven
Turns the
gods.
crosses upside down.
I mean, you really do have to like. I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole in this one, but you do really have to judge words by the intent with which they were said.
You do, but
That
I mean,
is the most
honestly,
important thing.
here's the thing.
If I stub my toe and say "God damn it," I'm not Or if I say "God damn it," or I use that as a turn of phrase, I'm not meaning it to insult anyone's religion. That's not what I'm meaning it for. And if you're taking it that way, I can understand that we can have an intelligent conversation about it. Or you can choose to look at it in the context of the conversation and realize Nick was just saying that to be funny or having a good go of it. Right?
But I think the problem with that, and the thing that makes this really hard to kind of understand is imagine if someone like stubbed their toe and said "fucking white people."
Whoa!
It's like, I mean, who cares if they said
Kevin
that?
says that all. Kevin, you're.
But it's like, that's a perfect
Kevin has the
example. Like
minority
when Kevin says shit like that.
No racist.
Thank you.
When Kevin says shit like that, it triggers something in me. It's little, but it's just like it's a weird, a slight bit of discomfort where you're just like, that is the thing where I'm like, there's so many ways where I'm lucky enough that I don't need to deal with that shit that much.
Yeah.
Trying to imagine what other people need to deal with, and it's all the slight things, but like, yeah, God damn it, like to us is nothing, but to the people that do care about that and like are brought up to know, like to believe that you're not supposed to say that stuff. It's like, it's just those little things of it's just little tiny hitting them. And whether or not you give a fuck, it's up to you. But I just think that I've noticed it where people will say stuff like I grew up with all Asian friends, and the amount of times they talk about white people as a whole. And I'm like, it makes me feel weird. You know, I'm fine with it. I can keep going on with the conversation. It's not like I'm going to cry myself to sleep. But
Are
like,
they specifically talking about you?
they're no,
just references to you.
They're not talking.
White people
about
dress
me.
so weird and have sneakers.
They're not talking about me. But that's the thing is like, and I noticed that where I was like, man, if it hits me in this way,
You can only
I
imagine.
can only imagine when it's something that's actually, you know, people being held back. You know, not fucking me.
I understand.
Yeah, it reminds me of the whole Washington Redskins issue. When this started to like really erupt a few years ago, I was like, this is really much to do about nothing. Like, it's
Have
not
you seen
meant.
the reports lately on it?
It's
Like,
not
the articles that came out, or not articles, the reports that were coming out like as a month ago. They actually polled a bunch of people and they were like, we don't care. Like,
Yeah, well,
but
there's
the
like,
polls were like all the polling was like 100 people.
well, that could be representative group depending on the method, but when it happened, I'm like, because it goes back to Nick's argument. I'm like, this isn't meant in an offensive or derogatory way.
Yeah.
But over time, as this has gone on over years, and I've seen kind of interesting, compelling comparisons of it, and like kind of some thought-provoking editorials and the things people say, I'm like, I totally get it. You wouldn't call a team the Whiteskins or the Blackskins, you know? So like, why would you call it the Redskins? You know, and I'm like, well, that's a totally valid argument. I'm not going to dispute that. It's the same thing where Bomani Jones a few weeks ago, I think, was wearing a shirt with the Indians logo that said Caucasians, and I'm like, that's not offensive to me, but I get your point. Like,
Sure.
why, as opposed to the Braves, which I think is a fine name, or the Fighting Sioux or whatever. Sure. Like, that's totally fine with me. Or the Illini, who I don't even think are they even called the Fighting Illini anymore?
I believe they're. I'm gonna have to look it up. I haven't looked into it. I thought they just got rid of Chief Illini Wick. I don't think they.
Yeah, so like maybe some of the Chiefs do like the Brave chop or whatever. Like in Chiefs games, and some people find that offensive. I'm like, so I think that you can kind of so I'm getting it to Tim's point, like more and more, where I'm like, okay, like it's to Nick's point, it's not. I don't think they call the team the Indians to be disparaging the Indians. The logo is super racist. I'll give them that. And they don't have that logo. And they don't have that logo anymore.
Yeah.
It's the eye. It's just I think an eye now on their hat. Or a C or something, but it's not like the chief with the big smile and everything. I'm like, okay, that's offensive.
Yeah,
I get why you wouldn't want that, but and it's funny because I actually had that hat like randomly when I was a kid. Someone gave it to me. I'm like, I'm a Yankees fan. No, give me an Indians hat.
Weren't the Indians a major league?
Yeah, exactly.
But to me, it's like, so I'm starting to understand more of the sensitivities as they come up. It's just that this particular word that we're talking about with the topic, I'm like, I just understand it a little bit less. I understand the loaded nature of it, but I don't understand how it became so loaded.
Sure.
I guess that's the thing I'm thinking of, as opposed to like the Washington Redskins. I'm like, inevitably, inexorably, that name's going to change because they're losing their trademarks. Like people can stand outside of a Redskins game now and sell Redskins merch.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Without like they're allowed to trademark their logo, but they're not allowed to trademark an inherently racist term, and the government has said that you can't trademark the term Redskins. So now anyone can sell anything they want with Redskins on it, which is something the other teams you can't do with the other teams. So so it's an interesting kind of thought game, I guess, in a way where it's like I like to think about the etymology of words, and I thought with that particular word, I'm like, it's not a word I use. I understand how deeply offensive it is in American culture, yet I don't know how it got to this point. And it seems like no one does, as I was reading. There's a lot of guessing.
Well, see, what I don't really grasp from this whole thing is that I feel like, what about the other words? Like, what's the difference between, like, faggot? Like, how did that become a thing? And I think that I think cunt's the same way as that. I think they are in that same category for whatever reason, in the same way that I'd put bitch and gay in the same category, where they are just lesser versions of, like, I think bitch is to cunt what gay is to faggot.
But like, isn't the I believe faggot going backwards? Faggot literally is a bundle of sticks, and if I'm remembering correctly, it was that some gays were burned alive via using faggots, and then they started calling them faggots. I think that's how it went. But I guess I have the
Yeah,
internet,
I think that's the point. I don't. That sounds right because that is
that's
what that
the
word
story I
means.
heard, but I've never done research on it.
But yeah, to the
fascinating.
point, it's like that. There's a lineage there with all of those words, and no one knows how this word became so loaded. We know how the word gay became loaded. We know how the word faggot became loaded.
Mm-hmm.
We know how the word
bitch.
retard became loaded. We
Yep.
know how all those things became loaded. But and bitch obviously is loaded for obvious reasons. It's a female dog.
Yeah.
But like, I don't understand this word.
I mean, it's genitalia. Like that. I think that alone, right? That.
But
and then,
so is pussy.
Yeah, I know, but I think that it's just like when it was
Or
loaded
cock.
with. But then like all right, I guess gay and faggot with the sticks thing does change that up a bit. I don't know. I just
I
just don't think it's quite as simple. I mean, I agree with
I see
you
your
that it's
point
not
on
what
this
we
one,
use,
but I
but
mean, to Colin's point, like, yeah, I mean, to me, I'm more on Tim's side of this, where I see that they're both very diminishing in diminutive terms, versus like something like asshole, which is really, I mean, it's I guess not gender specific, so it doesn't really matter. Like everyone's got an asshole, so you can call everyone an asshole, right? Is that how that works? Like, is anyone offended by asshole?
Yeah.
Mortally? Well, it's an insult. You're rendering an insult to someone, but I mean like versus the word faggot is a much more loaded
100%.
word, much more powerful because it's traditionally used as a hate speech, right? Whereas asshole, that's just a plain old insult, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like people use the word asshole all the time and don't get offended about it. I think that's one of those words that's just everyone's been desensitized to, I think. But to me, and this is just to me, but bitch hasn't and pussy hasn't. Like I wouldn't use the word pussy in mixed company. For some reason, saying that word specifically makes me uncomfortable.
it makes me uncomfortable watching you say it,
Does it make you in a bad way or like a sexual way?
like a sexual way.
Like you're thinking about yourself and maybe
And you,
what we might. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Greg, what'd you find out?
Nothing. It's always
Nothing
one
yet.
of those super complicated ones. I'm trying to get it all together.
Yeah.
English, late 16th century, it was an abusive term for women, particularly old women, and reference to homosexuality may derive from this. As female terms are often used to reference to homosexual or effeminate men, Nancy, sissy, queen. But then it's like, an alternate possibility is this. An alternate, okay, so it's like...
It seems like it's the same thing with the word we're talking about, where it's like there's just no research.
Oh, here we go. There is an urban legend called the oft reprinted assertion by Douglas Harper that the modern slang meaning developed from the standard meaning of faggot as a bundle of sticks for burning with regards to burning at the stake. This is unsubstantiated. The emergence came in the 20th century.
It has to come from something like that, though. You have to assume.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
that's why
It's
it
safe
makes
for
sense with if you're calling particularly old women a faggot and then you want to like, oh, you sissy, you pussy, whatever, stuff like that.
Anyway,
Well, either way,
Words are weird.
I wanted to talk about that.
they are weird.
Hope,
Glad you
hope no one's too deeply offended out there. I just think it's interesting to approach these topics as they come. You know, it's something I was thinking about. So
Another word.
Nick, what are you thinking about?
My topic actually ties a lot into your topic, Greg. I was watching X-Men Days of Future Past yesterday. And it was on HBO, and I actually really like that movie. But my question is, are we desensitized to what a good movie is these days?
Yes. We nitpick everything.
Right.
I feel like we used to watch so many movies in the 80s, me and my friends, and they were just awesome, and we laughed,
Yeah,
and that was
right.
the end of it.
Like,
It
if I
wasn't, I didn't sit there and go like, man, Predator, I can see a fucking camera in Predator.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think this disturbs me, though, because and this is a question I want to open up to you guys, and I'm sure it's different for every single person. I'm obviously older than you guys, and thus have been watching films on this planet for 6 years more. Well, 4 years. You're 32, right?
31.
31.
I'm 33.
You're 33, so 3 years more. So we're about it's. My question is, have I just been watching too many movies, or as a society, are we desensitized to what makes a good movie a good movie? Specifically, I watched X-Men Apocalypse in theaters, and I was like, I'm not really enjoying this movie. Had I seen that when I was a kid, it probably would have been my favorite fucking film. It was awesome, right? But they're all sort of varying degrees of away from each other, and I'm not sure, you know, if that's just because of the films themselves, or if it's because my experience with film through the years has led me to a point where the difference between a really good film and a meh film that's lessened, you know? And now I just don't even know really what a fantastic film is anymore, because there's so much just kind of in the middle ground. If that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I think it's a multifaceted issue. I think one of the things you bring up is age. I think when we're younger, we're way more open and way more interested.
More susceptible to just new things. Or
I think another is the age we live in, where it's exactly what we're talking about with TV, where it's like if I start a movie on Netflix and it's not great in the first 10 minutes, I'm out. Like if I'm not connected to this, then why would I stick around and try to wait for this to get to its point?
Yeah.
Whereas when there were lesser options, when it was, all right, let's drive to Blockbuster and get 2 videos, and it's like, I'm coming back to this sleepover with these 2 tapes. That's all there is to watch. So we're in no matter what.
Awesome.
Huh?
Rat Race.
We are not getting Rat Race.
I fucked up one time. I got 2 Tom Selleck movies for no reason.
Did you really fuck up though?
Well,
Sounds like a blessing in disguise.
yeah, I was on a date and it ended up working out well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a sad state of affair for me though, because as I watch, it's the same experience I had that you just talked about. I had this past weekend where I started literally 3 movies and I'm like, nope.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
But then my friend Matt Fuller has a documentary on Netflix called Autism in Love, and obviously it's about autistic people in love. And I started it, and it's a good title.
Yeah.
Started it, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch this because he's my boy. I'm seeing him next week. And it was a little slow to start. And by about an hour in, I'm like, holy shit, this is really good.
Right.
And I'm legitimately crying because I'm experiencing something that I haven't seen before ever.
Sure.
Right. And simultaneously experiencing something I've never seen, and also seeing myself in the eyes of these people who are trying to find wherever their place might be in the world.
Yeah.
And so that makes me think, I'm like, okay, there obviously are great experiences still left, but on the whole, are we just asshole kids that are desensitized to everything and like we're not happy
It's not
anymore?
even, I don't even know if it's that you're desensitized as much as I think we all are overcritical now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what you're talking about, I mean, I remember going to see X-Men in the theaters with John Campione. What up, John? And that movie
John
finished.
Campione.
And we were like, holy shit, that was awesome. It was like the first superhero movie that like to really bring it all back. We're doing superhero movies and we're going to do them right. And like now you'd watch it and it's not that great. And it's the same thing. Now jump to Civil War. Literally all these amazing things are happening. We come back and I was like, that was good. It was fine. I'm good. I want to see Spider-Man's part again, but nobody else, because we're spoiled rotten, because there's a million superhero movies now, and it is to the point that they all feel so similar, like what you're talking about, where there is this strata. I'm still, spoiler everybody, for a topic, in January 2017, I'm still doing the list of every movie I see this year. I'm still keeping it up. Every movie I've seen in 2016, where I saw it, and everything else on there. And it's just one of those things as you go through, it's just like, okay, like, but like how many, for my barometer of what's a great movie or a good movie or whatever is how much I think about it afterwards.
Right.
And that's the thing where it was like, when I noticed that I was still thinking about Room a month later, I was like, fuck, that's a film right there.
Yeah,
that's
was a great film. That was a great film. I will say, I'm not naive enough to suggest that there's never been a capitalist initiative in filmmaking since the teens and 20s to make money on your films. Of course there is. You make a film for art, of course, but you also make a film to make money. I will say that we've crossed the paradigm of films existing not to tell any story, but to make lots of money. That is the reason that all these comic book movies exist. That's why most of them are not good films. I don't care if you like them or not. I'm not saying that you can't like them, but they're not films. Like some of the great movies that we've seen in the past. And what I've noticed, not being a film buff at all, but someone who used to go to the movies quite often, used to rent a lot of movies. I bought a bunch of DVDs. I mean, I saw movies probably way more than the average person until 5 years ago. Is that I just felt like the movies stopped speaking to me. I mean, Erin and I were going to go see a movie this past weekend. She had tweeted at Tim saying that we were going to go see Popstar. We were looking at the trailer.
Highly recommended.
And then we were looking at the trailer. We were looking at trailers for other movies, and I'm like, this, like even stuff that had like a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes. There's a movie that like was like super highly scored about 2 detectives or something like that. Or I don't know. I don't remember what the fuck.
Nice Guys?
Rizzoli and Isles?
No, that's a TV show. And we were like, we were watching the trailers, and I'm like, none of this looks good at all. And we just like stayed in and watched like Amazon, because I was like, there's nothing compelling about this. I'm like, the reason that these superhero movies are being spammed is not because they want to tell fun, compelling stories. They know you're going to go fucking see them, and they want to make lots of money. There's no artistic merit to a lot of the shit that's being done right now.
See, but that's not true though, man. Like, especially with the Marvel movies, like they care. They very obviously care about the story they're telling. They also care about making money.
Yeah, they care about the story in terms of like how much they're going to be stringing people along. Let me give you an example.
No, my example would be all these Michael Bay ones, Ninja Turtles and whatever, where it opens and it's like brought to you by the China Film, whatever the hell it was. And I'm like, all right, these things kill in China because they just want to see explosions, Transformers, all that. Your example.
Like I think about Star Wars. Star Wars is a great example. we got 77, 80, and 83. We got 3 Star Wars movies. They could have kept making them, and they wanted to. I mean, you could read J.W. Rinsler's books of the making of Star Wars and stuff. There's a lot of interesting stuff about that, but they walked away. Like Lucas walked away. They could have made more of these movies, and they made 3 Indiana Jones movies, and they made Young Indy. But other than that, they were like, we'll have some expanded universe stuff, but we're going to show a little bit of restraint for a while. And then they obviously made the new prequels and stuff. There's always a capital endeavor behind doing this kind of thing. Obviously, Star Wars was made for like $20 million or something like that, and they made a shit ton of money. And they wanted to keep doing it, but they showed restraint. Now, like what happens when Disney acquires Star Wars? They announce 6 movies, like 6 movies. In other words, the amount of movies that were made out of the Star Wars trilogy from 77 to 2005, they announced in a 6-year period. And to me, that was an emblematic of just a different thing where they're like, we know you're going to go.
But yeah,
we know you're going to buy it.
Isn't this capitalism though in a way? The market demands these movies.
We think the market demands them. We'll see how it goes at the end. I still think that like we'll see the market reacting negatively to all of this stuff in the end. I hope Star Wars is good, but I think there's too much of a good thing is possible. It happens all the time. So to me, I just think that there's a difference in, one of the things I was talking about recently, I think I talked about it with you, Greg, was, and maybe the way I see movies or way that maybe not knowing much about film, but just being a viewer of movies like anyone else, is that movie Concussion. People were making a lot of waves about, and I remember Will Smith getting upset. How's Will Smith not nominated for an Academy Award for this performance? So I watched the movie, and I'm like, that movie's okay at best, and his performance sucks. Well, I don't know what people are even looking at anymore.
You were saying the further out you got from it, the more you disliked it, right?
Yeah, where I was like, I think more and more about the movie, and I'm like, is this the barometer now that we're judging great movies? Is Will Smith's performance in Concussion? That's the performance that we're like, how can this not win an Academy Award? And I'm like, well, maybe I'm just so far flung from what good movies are good or what movies are bad that I don't know the difference anymore, because the movies that I think about after the fact, like the last few truly fantastic movies I've seen were like The Big Short was awesome.
That was really good.
Interstellar was awesome, and Gone Girl were probably the last 3 movies I saw where I'm like, these are fucking awesome movies that I think about a lot. Room was great. I liked Room.
Yeah, but I mean, you can look back and think about it. It's not like there was a million awesome movies before. It is a short list. Like what you just named was the last couple years.
That's true.
So it's like, it's not like every week there was an amazing 10 out of 10 movie coming out. I think things just changed down. You're right with all the capitalism and all that stuff. But I think that with the Star Wars, we're in a different place now. It's way easier to make movies now. There's way more people making movies now. There's more actors. There's more people doing VFX. There's more people doing all of that stuff. And there's also way, way, way higher demand for it in terms of before it was just theaters. Now it's on demand. Now it's your entire world is revolving around this movie and stuff.
Well, I feel like, and then that's to my point is like, I feel like there's pros and cons, obviously, all of this. Like you're both right on in terms of Marvel. Like Marvel does take a tremendous amount of care to make sure every film fits within their cinematic universe, and they legitimately do care. But they also are banging these things out at the span of like 1 every 6 months because they do want to make money. So there is something to be said for both sides of those arguments, but it's a little disheartening and saddening to me that there's so much out there that it's difficult for me to as a person who loves film to invest in these experiences anymore, because when there was only 10 really notable movies that came out every year, it was really there was a lot more importance behind the ones that were good and the ones that were bad, and now it doesn't matter. That's just been like I was earlier before. That's just been sort of squished into this big middle area. And now there's a great standout movie like Interstellar every here and there. And then we don't even think about the ones that are down here, but then there's this huge middle area where
so many forgetful films.
Yeah, there's all
where
forgetful.
you see them, and that was a movie I saw, and you move on, and that's it. That was the end of that.
And it makes you feel that you're just consuming. And I suppose
and you are. And that's the whole point, though, is that I think it's just so easy to get your hands on everything now, where you can be an indie movie guy and get it on Netflix and go on Amazon and get this thing up there. And that's the thing. I watched, Barista or whatever on Amazon Prime or whatever, and I finished and I was like, that was an okay documentary. Like I was doing things while I did it. I was like answering emails. I wasn't really paying attention, and I'm not really like, I can't tell you much about it. Like I didn't really like it, but I didn't really hate it. It's just something I watched. There was something on the background.
Yeah. To answer your original question about the good movies versus bad movies or whatever, I think that there's just so much movies now, and there's so much different genres of movies, and within genres, there's genres. And I think that because of that, it's not one scale anymore. It's not just, is this a good movie or a bad movie? There's so much that goes into it. And it's like, it's almost impossible to review the Marvel movies without looking into how does it set up the next one, because that's part of the movie. That's a big part of what people are looking into it, and I think that makes it hard to compare that versus another movie, another like classic movie, because that is a inherent part of it that you need to look at that doesn't exist in this other thing. And I think that we were at the point now where, all right, comic book movies, you can't even review it as a comic book movie. There's the DC movies, there's the Fox movies, there's the Marvel movies, and those each have their own set of rules. And I think that you're talking about the middle, it over time has been getting smaller and smaller and smaller, because the Marvel movies are the standout ones. Just period. They're bare minimum, they're good movies. Are they sometimes forgettable? Sure, only in the grand scheme of things of when you look at it all and you don't remember, was this fight scene in this movie or this movie, because who the fuck remembers Thor 2? Who knows what happened in that? But when you think about it, you're like, all right, I know what happened enough to move on from it. But then you look at the X-Men movies and they've been consistently good overall. They've had a couple dips, but then they come back with the First Class, Days of Future Past. And now they fucked up with Apocalypse, it seems. I haven't seen it yet, but
they did.
The word in the streets, people are not happy with it.
It's not as good as the two that came before.
And what does that say for the future of the X-Men franchise? I don't think it's good. I think that it's, they have this Wolverine thing, and if it goes on that downward trend, Fox, it's gonna
be great.
It's gonna bail out. Thank God, it's gonna be great.
Yes,
and then Sony, it already happened. Spider-Man, they had their moments.
Don't fuck it up.
It's done. So now it's Marvel, and I think that it's Marvel, DC, and DC, whatever. They're gonna do their thing until it fails or doesn't fail.
The DC plan was always to put out 3 or 4 movies that really had no guidance, and then bring in Jeff Johns to really tie the universe together.
Regardless, I think that the Marvel movies, it's unfair to lump them into comic book movies, because they are in a league of their own. That's not saying they're 10 out of 10. That is, they are. There's a level
I like
of
what you're talking about with their own rules.
and that has their own rules, and you got to rate them based on those rules, because that's what they are. And it's like, if you are comparing them to other movies, I do think that you can. I think that there is a conversion there, and it's like, all right, you have to keep in mind that a lot of this is set up, and it's like, all right, if I'm reviewing just this movie, not 20 movies at once, and where does this fit in? It gets kind of hard. But again, I don't think that there was any time period where there was a whole shit ton of amazing movies that are perfect. And I think
I don't think I wouldn't disagree with you there, but and Nick, you can kind of back me up on this. I think if you looked at a list of the top films of all time, most of them are from the 20th century.
But based on who's saying that?
I would say 90 of them are probably from the 20th century.
Yeah.
So I mean, so to me, it's like, well, who's saying? I don't know, scholars. I don't know. But I look at those lists every once in a while, because I'm like, what haven't I seen on these lists? And it's always like, Citizen Kane and all this kind of shit. And I'm like, all right, well, like,
you're also talking about it's an entire period of time where a lot of innovation and evolution was happening within.
Sure,
film, right?
but that's
that's I guess maybe that is to the root of the point, is like, are we seeing that happening now? And it's specifically with superhero films. Well, not really, right? Like, we hit Iron Man, that was awesome, and
Iron Man was great.
Avengers hit, and everyone's just trying to make Avengers over and over.
Yeah, and that's to my point, is that like markets react to scarcity, and markets obviously react to quality. So right now they're reacting to quality because the movies, people like these movies, maybe more so the Marvel slant than the DC slant right now. Although I think DC may be coming out, I don't fucking know. But with Suicide Squad and stuff like that, I mean, who the hell knows? But I will say that markets rubber band like really quickly. That's the and I hate to use this example because I know we have a lot of people that don't necessarily like when we talk about politics, but you've seen it a lot with like in the political market with Bernie Sanders. Everyone loved Bernie Sanders, blah, 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 blah. A month ago, everyone fucking turned on Bernie Sanders. Like that, like overnight, where they're like, get out, get out, get out, get out. The same people that were like all about him, he still has a lot of fans. He's still in states where, but what I'm saying is like the narrative around him changed like fucking overnight. I had never seen anything like it, where suddenly he's not the darling anymore. Suddenly everyone's like, you're in the way. Get out, get out. But everyone loved him the day before. And all I'm saying is that there's no genre in music, there's no genre in film or in television or in games, wherever, that lasts forever. And sure as shit, the market's going to react to this kind of stuff. And I think that will bring you back, and that will bring you back to the quality that you're looking for, because
we're seeing that already.
I think
with the X-Men movies and with the Sony,
but they're still making a lot of money, and this is where there's a dissonance, because everyone's like, and this is why I hate the argument where I'm like, you like Batman versus Superman, I think you liked it, okay. Tim and I didn't like it. But everyone's like, it doesn't matter. They made all the sorts of money. I'm like, are you a fucking stockholder? What do you care? Like that's how we're going to judge a movie, is because it made its money back, as opposed to like, was it any good? And that's why that the artistic, because with like China,
the Wii U is amazing.
With China and all these emerging markets, it's like, yeah, these are going to make all of these movies profitable. Like TMNT is not doing very well in the domestic box office, but it's like, they don't care. Like, so it's like, are we always just going to judge it based on this? And this is funny from being a fucking pure blood capitalist, which I am, but it's like, this is not the way we judge art. And like, are these now products, or do they exist for a reason? And TMNT 2 exists only to make money and to scratch your nostalgia.
The problem with your argument, I feel, is that there's too many voices now. there's just Roger Ebert and there's just this guy, and we know now if a movie's good or bad. It is everyone on Twitter can get out and say if it's good, bad, this, that, the other. I mean, Ninja Turtles is a great example of, I went in expecting a cartoon, left, and I was like, that was a fucking cartoon.
Yep.
That was whatever, cool. He
I
fucking
heard Bebop and Rocksteady were really cool.
They hover, yeah. Seamus killed it, you know. And then Krang's there, and then like Kevin was like, that movie was terrible. I'm like, well, yes. I mean, it's not a good movie, but like, what did
it'll
you
make its money back?
What did you expect out of this thing? It's about fucking Ninja Turtles. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, but
this
the
is-
1989 Turtles movie
sucked. It was a bad movie as well.
No, I'll
it was
fight
a
this to the
bad
day I
movie
fucking
as
die.
well.
It is not a bad movie. I watched that movie so many times as an adult. That movie is fantastic. Fantastic.
I'm not going to weigh in on this.
I mean, what I think is really interesting about this is, for years you guys ran and owned the PlayStation channel at IGN.
Sure.
You did your top 25 list. You guys are the voice of PlayStation. You are the credibility of PlayStation. What was on that list, that was the top 25. If you, to this day, you Google top 25 PS3 games, guess what? It's your guys' list. And that's what people think of when they're talking about the top best games of all time on PlayStation 3.
Right.
It's your guys' opinion. Metal Gear Solid 4, not on that list. Why?
Wasn't a great entry point.
I just don't think it's a good game.
But okay, whatever. Great.
Both of us agree it
There you
didn't
go.
deserve to be on the list for some reason.
But Greg's point is it's not a great entry point, so that's not why it's on the list. You liked the game a
Yeah,
lot,
oh yeah.
and you thought as a Metal Gear fan, it's fucking amazing.
Right.
But compared to all these other things, you didn't put it on the list because X, Y, and Z. And I think that's where the Marvel movies all fall into.
Interesting.
Where it's like a couple of them, I think Avengers, I think Galaxy of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and potentially Civil War can stand on their own as like, these are good. These are like really good. But
a lot of people would put Winter Soldier in there too.
Winter Soldier's great, yeah. But even then, it's like just straight up standalone movie. I think that a lot of those things wouldn't make the list because of the Metal Gear Solid 4
Right.
argument.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
And I think that's where we're at with movies.
That
now,
was
'cause
my-
not putting Metal Gear Solid 4 on the best PS3 list is fucking mind blowing to me. I don't understand that.
Sure.
But
No,
It's
I'm
not
with
my
you.
job to
I mean, that was
understand.
always my argument. I mean, what you're talking about makes sense, and I agree with your point of just like, yeah, like, I don't think Captain America 1 was a great movie, right? But I enjoyed it in the, here's all this backstory, and then, fuck, he's in the future. Like, that's cool. That's cool. And it was like setting up everything. And so when you see those just as links in the chain to get to like think of it like a rosary, right? Just your normal beads to get to an awesome prayer part. Because rosaries are awesome as they build them out.
They are.
Everybody.
Everyone loves. I couldn't be more excited
no
about
kid,
rosaries.
no kid who's like, I'm just stuck around through the cunt talk. Oh man, I want to
get
talk
to
about
the- let's get
rosaries
to the
now
rosaries.
too. Let's go to the rosaries.
Yeah, I mean, Tim, to your point, like the what they're accomplishing with superhero films is amazing. It really is.
with the Marvel
Um,
films.
Well, I mean, I would also say that the X-Men films are good.
And I think they have
I
been.
really like what they're doing. I like the chemistry of the cast. I really like Days of Future Past, and I liked First Class. It's awesome, but it's sad because as they continue this awesome epic saga of the Marvel films, they're also lessening the overall impact of the individual products, and I guess that's what I'm reacting to. Right? Is like when you keep adding to that amazing epic storyline. You're just kind of putting out more noise, and in doing so, you're putting out more noise.
Sure.
But it's TV just on a movie screen.
Yeah,
and like that
sure.
when you start looking at it that way, you talk about HBO being premium. Just think of the Marvel movies being the most premium form of television.
Well, I agree. Again, and I'm not sitting here on my, high
horse.
pulpit, high horse, let's say high throne. I got Game of Thrones in my brain. I'm not sitting here saying I don't like the Marvel movies. I enjoyed the shit out of Civil War, and I'll go see all of them. I made my wife watch freaking Ant-Man the other day because I love Paul Rudd. And but the more and more they come out, the harder it is for me to get her to sit down and watch one of them, and that tells me something.
I mean, it goes back to the TV argument, but why I think Marvel works. What I don't like about any movie for the most part, but especially these comic book ones, so like, DC ones especially, where you get like 2 hours and they try to cram everything in. That's why I always say it's a cheat, but Smallville's the best live action interpretation of Superman in my lifetime, probably ever. And it's not, tons of Smallville is complete and utter fucking trash. But what they nail. And seeing that character progress to putting on the suit, you're like, yes, this is fucking awesome, and there's the payoff. And that's what Marvel is doing just on the movie screen, which I respect. The fact that they do get them out and tell these stories. And maybe I didn't like this episode, which is this movie or whatever, but I'm still stoked to see where it's going to go. But it is to the point now, just like where there's too many DC too many DC TV shows that I historically would have been all about. Now it's like, Doctor Strange, like,
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. It's going to come and go, and you can either choose to watch it
Yeah.
and get the fleshed out backstory, or you can just come in at the next Avengers, and guess what? He'll be there.
He does
and-
magic stuff. I get
yeah,
it.
and then it's like, all right, cool. I know enough, and
Yeah.
I think that is where the artistry of it all comes in.
I hear you.
I think that Marvel again does such a good job of thinking about that. And shout out to Kevin Feige or whatever the fuck his name is.
Feige. Yeah. It's a hard
Is
one to
that
remember.
confirmed? Is it Feige?
That's how.
Fade or fade.
That's how I've heard people say it in other
Feige.
podcasts.
All right.
So
Well, shout out to him because I think that they're doing a great job with all that shit.
In the last 4 seconds of the show, Kev, you don't need to worry about it, all right? Sit over there and keep looking pretty. I said you don't need to do it in the last 4 seconds of the show. Colin, go farther away from your microphone. And really give him the business.
Colin, put your mic on the ground. Colin, put your mic on the ground. Let's do the rest of the podcast with your microphone on the ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, this topic was brought to you by Loot Crate. Loot Crate is a monthly subscription box service for epic geek gamer items in pop culture gear. For less than $20 a month, you get 4 to 8 items that include licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. Make sure you head to lootcrate.com/Greggy and enter the code Greggy to save $3 on your new subscription. Loot Crate is more than just a subscription service. It's an entire community of fans that share their experience and interact with each other on the unboxing of each month's crate. They guarantee more than $40 of value in every crate, and sometimes it's a lot more. Every month, there's a different theme, and all the items are curated around that theme. Previous crates have included items from franchises like Star Wars, Marvel, The Walking Dead, The Legend of Zelda, and many more. Pop culture is full of brave new worlds and societies in flux that don't always turn out for the best. June's theme will be exploring some of the ways things can go wrong with dystopia, featuring classics like RoboCop, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and The Matrix, and new faves like BioShock Infinite and Fallout 4. We've got a figure, cool collectibles, and of course, our dystoporific monthly tee.
Thank you. That's right. That's how you're using it.
There was a fun visual gag,
You're using
Kevin.
it perfectly.
Remember, you only have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. And when the cutoff happens, that's it, Jack. It's over.
Don't hurt it.
So go to lootcrate.com/Greggy and enter the code Greggy to save $3 on your new subscription today.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Colin.
He's pointing the wrong way.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy Show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table. What are you fucking doing to me, you weirdo? Nothing gives you that right.
I liked your chop for the high five.
If you want the show early, patreon.com/kindafunny. If you got no bucks, no big deal. youtube.com/kindafunny. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you. Ask and then just use it as a thumbnail.
Oh God, I got so upset. Like I just felt my entire body just fucking get enraged because Lola just put her hands on me and I thought it was Kevin putting his foot on me. Oh my God, I haven't been that angry in a long time.
Damn.